Oh, hey, I score on Walhalla, second base. Good to see you guys. Probably going to be skipping the SummerSlam 3-hour pre-show. Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if they put like one match like in the middle of the pre-show? Just like fuck with everyone. Alright. Let's do one intro this time. Oops. One of these days I'll gotta see if there's actually a fourth intro. We've seen that there's... That I keep going, there's 3 different intros. Never made it to the 4th. Each one kind of reveals more about the game too, which is a little odd. Yeah, this Two Nights pay-per-view was ridiculous. I mean, when I saw the 3-hour pre-show, I'm like, dude, they've lost their minds now. Now they're just crazy. Three-hour pre-show for like a 3-hour show, maybe 3.5-hour show. Oh god, everything's crazy. Everything's crazy at this point. If you just joined us, things are very depressing at this point in this game. I think we're at the bad part. You're telling your sister to kill you repeatedly, and your guy wants to commit suicide a bunch. Nami's face stiffened, but shortly after that she put on a clearly forced smile.
Oni, つまんない冗談やめなよ.
Action wasn't like her. Normally she wouldn't just laugh it off. Normally she'd angrily yell, "Don't say that, you dumb jerk." So the next few minutes reprimanding me. Well, not that it mattered. I didn't care. If she wouldn't kill me, I had no more business with this Nanami. She just up and vanished for all I cared. Locked eyes with Seiratan. If only Seiratan was in the 3rd dimension, he would have gladly granted my wish. was gonna be born in delusionary existence anyways. At least have me born into the second dimension.
ねえ、そんな冗談は置いといて、その話があるんだ。
What? What happened? Why does your hand get cut off and grow back? What's
あの
happening?
ね、お兄にもらったバングル、なくしちゃったの。
It's on the severed hand that got mailed to me.
どうせ適当に扱ってたんだろうとか言わないでね。ナナ、そんなことしてないもん。本当に大切にしてたもん。なのに、どこでなくしたのかもわかんなくて。
It was on a severed hand that got mailed to me. That I put in the fridge, it disappeared. Don't you get it? This game makes so much sense. What? You treasured it? Seriously incredible. Genuinely fucking incredible. Comedy gold, really? Besides, I gave it to you, didn't I? So it's worthless anyways.
僕は妄想じゃない。僕は妄想じゃない。
Besides, the fact that I'd given Nanami the bangle in and of itself was suspicious. Could have been delusion too, for all I knew. Why nothing in this world was worth anything. Each and everything in my memories was worthless.
僕は妄想じゃない。僕は妄想じゃない。
お兄が初めてくれたプレゼントだったのにな。なんでなくしちゃったりしたんだろう。
僕は妄想じゃない。僕は妄想じゃない。
お兄、聞いてる？
僕は妄
Crazy, don't
想
you
じゃ
get it?
ない。僕は妄想じゃない。
お兄は、どうして、いつもそうなの？
Whoa. You going to Canada? Nice. Wait a minute. You're in Canada. What am I talking about? Oh, the holiday weekend. Okay. Wait a minute. What is the date? What don't I know here? August 1st. What holiday is this in Canada?
たまには、お兄ちゃんらしく、頼りがいのあるとこ、見せてよ。
Oh, it's British Columbia Day. Remember that? It's British Columbia Day. Korea no delusions, yeah. What now? Here to criticize me, you're wasting your time. After all, I'm a delusionary existence. Conceit.
僕は
It's like a
妄
civic
想
holiday,
じ
yeah.
ゃない。僕
I do
は
remember
妄想じゃない。
British Columbia Day because I think that was one of the days that when I was in Cub Scouts, we had to go clean that stupid peace arch or whatever, do the groundwork of that dumbass peace arch. Ugh. I don't know why they make the kids do that. There's some little arch on the where the freeway for where I-5 whatever meets like Canada. There's a dumb little arch there they make the Cub Scouts clean up because I don't know, I guess they get like free man hour working hours out of them or something, I guess. All I did was stare blankly at Seraton's smile. There was no reason to listen to Nami. It was all pointless. While I was a delusionary existence.
今までずっと、ナナがしっかりしなきゃって思って、頑張ってきたけど。でもね、やっぱり、ナナだってたまには、誰かに甘えたいよ。
Hmm?
うん。誰かにじゃなくて。
Is that what it is? The Peace Gardens? I think that's what it's called, yeah. There's like the arch there. That's all I remember because they made us clean up around the arch like every year. I guess it was called the Peace Gardens. I just remember the damn arch.
お兄
Is that what
に
it's called?
甘えたいよ。
You type in Peace Arch and see what comes up. There it is, yeah. On the US-Canada border at Blaine. Anyway, Peace Arch Historical State Park. Yeah. Blaine, Washington. Let's guess it's on the Washington side of the border. I want it to be you, big bro. Wait, what? What's happened here? This is a delusion?
僕は妄想じゃない。僕は妄想じゃない。
だって、お兄は、ナナのお兄なんだから、お兄に頼りたいって思うこと、ナナにもあるんだよ。
僕は妄想じゃない。僕は妄想じゃない。
そりゃ、いつもああしろこうしろ言われて、お兄も嫌だろうけど、それは、お兄がだらしないから仕方なく。言いたいことはそういうことじゃなくて。
僕は妄想じゃない。
He's gone crazy. The main character's gone crazy.
僕は妄想じゃない。
ナナだって、いろいろ愚痴を聞いてもらいたい時とか、泣きたい時とか、あるんだよ。お兄に優しくしてもらいたい時とか、あるんだよ。
僕は妄想じゃ
Are
な
you
い。
listening to what I'm saying here?
僕は妄想じゃない。
ねえ、お兄、ナナの話、聞いてよ。ナナ、今、すごく悲しいんだよ。お兄にもらった大切なバングル、なくなっちゃって、声出して
I didn't even want it.
泣きたいくらい悲しくて辛くて、お兄に抱きしめてほしいのに、お兄に頭
Look
撫
at the
で
doll.
て
Shut up.
慰めてほしいのに。ねえ、お兄、今日だけはナナのわがまま受け止めてよ。
Raising my head in a daze, I saw Nanami crying. She was hanging her head low while she was trying her best to hold it in. Then the sound of gave me streams. Tears drowned out her pained face, all the same. I just say I'm not a delusion over and over again. On opening a glass door, at that very moment Remy entered what appeared to be a lobby. A twitch of fear ran through her. Chill breeze cold enough to freeze her over crept her upper legs. Freeze her over crept up her legs. There was no sign of anyone. Like it was obvious for this place, and this place alone, and yet when Remy thought about what awaited her ahead, she couldn't help but wish that someone could have been there with her. Or it was a soundproof door, a door akin to those of a movie theater. From a small crack within that gateway, the chilled breeze came wafting through. The breeze was accompanied by a white haze, a haze akin to the smoke that rose from dry ice. What? Remy fiercely bit down on her lip. In her hands was her D-sword, already real-booted.
だから大丈夫。だから、怖がっちゃダメだ。
Desperately telling herself that, she gulped a single time before proceeding to burst open the soundproof door with her shoulder. What the hell? His eyes went wide at the scene before her. Stood a device that was beyond enormous, enshrined in the center of the dome-shaped room. It could be described only as a monster. An ominous sound rang faintly through the spacious room. It was a low-pitched noise akin to the deep growl of a beast, a sound that signified the device's operation.
の圧、
No, this is Noah too.
もう、動いてるんだ。
君のおかげですよ。
Her voice replied to Remy's vexed murmurs. When she heard that voice, Remy felt her very soul tremble. No, wait, who are you?
崎畑リミ。1年半ぶりですね。
Remy's instincts be engulfed in fear. Shivers rose from the depths of her heart. Abominable memories attacked her consciousness. Her grim past was on the brink of being resurrected. There was such a threat. Remy strengthened the grasp on her D-sword and lightly shook her head. When she regained her hold, she shifted her gaze toward the voice. Right before the enormous device, Noah too was him. The figure of a man donned in a suit, and by his side... No! What the hell's happening? Crucified Nanami. It was Nishijo Nanami she's held captive. She's bloodied. Uniform was torn and a bandage soaked with blood was wrapped around her right wrist. Her head hung toward the forge. She looked terribly, terribly pale. This is such a pitiable sight. Remy was at a loss for words. Crucified in Jesus of Nazareth's likeness. No, what held her could not be called a cross? Something far different. Or it took its shape from pure unadulterated malice. Entirety of this world's evil. Entirety of this world's disorder. The entirety of this world's immorality. He knows exaggeration refers to symbol sculpted to those very attributes. What?
君がこの1年半どこで何をしていたかについて興味はありませんが困りますねあまりうろちょろされると
Man, Norose Genichi, spoke in a peaceful tone, but his voice was embedded with the sharpness of a blade. Everything in her power not to sink to her knees, Rumi glared back at
ナナち
Norose.
ゃんを離して。
ほうまさかここに来たのはお友達を助けに来たという理由ですか
I mean, when did we see Norose before? Is he like the relative of someone else? I'm
Nana-chan.
confused.
離して。その子は何も関係ないでしょ。
では直接話してみてはどうですか
He wasn't the guy at the council, right? We see him. The council guy talked to him. Okay. Norose's offer left Rimi confused. She was acting brave, but in truth, the moment she had seen Norose's face, her heart had been seized by fear, and her legs began to tremble. Unable to move an inch from where she stood, she called out to the crucified
ナナ
Nanami.
ちゃん。
Nami's head ever so slightly stirred. Eyes, which had been closed until that very moment, opened faintly. She raised her head, and her hollow eyes fell upon Rimi.
リミさん。大丈夫。今助けてあげるから。
In the middle of Rimi's sentence, Nami's face twisted in pain. Her face was pale, and her breathing labored.
痛いよ。右手が痛いの。
With very little resistance, Nami's body slid off the cross.
ナナちゃん。ねえ、リミさん。
Now getting up from the floor, Nami lifted her head and let her gaze roam about the room, as if she was searching for something.
ナナのバングル知らないかな。
What?
見つからなくて。ナナのバングルどこにもなくて。
She staggered to her feet, and this time she searched for her surroundings with the left hand.
バングルだね。わかった。私知ってるから。だから私と一緒にここを出よう。病院に行こう。ね。手が痛いよ。ナナはなんでリミさんのことを知ってるんだっけ。前にどこで会ったんだっけ。リミさ
They've
ん。
met, haven't they? Yeah.
リミさんなの。リミさんがナナのバングル。嘘。どうして。ひどいよ。
Rimi, who realized that something was wrong with Nami, instantly looked at Norose. A scornful grin painted on his face. He simply observed Rimi and Nami's
ナ
exchange.
ナちゃんに何を見せてるの。
Damn you and your brain waves. Nami's gaze was fixed on Rimi. Trembling like a newborn fawn, she slowly stood up, and then she held out her right wrist as if offering Rimi her palm. The bandage drenched in blood. It was almost as if her hand was still connected. Yet one after the other, vibrant scarlet drops fell from the bandage without reprieve. By her feet, a pool of blood grew larger and larger with each passing second. She needs medical attention fast. Despite how frantic she was, Rimi was able to get any closer. Getting closer to Nami would mean getting closer to that man. It frustrated her greatly, leaving her on the verge of tears.
リミさんが持ってたの。ナナちゃん帰ろう。こっちに来て。どうして持ってくの。返して。ナナのバングル返して。落ち着いてナナちゃん。お兄からもらったナナの大切なあれは誰にも渡したくないの。返して返してよ。ナナちゃん返して。
Uh-oh. Together their pained scream. A single drop of blood fell from her right wrist before an opportunity hit the ground and crystallized at high speed. Emerging from nothing with a drop in the center, a mineral-esque object burst into view. It was a carapace formed from minerals that ripped. It was as if a carapace formed from minerals that ripped through a rift in space. Great sentence. In the blink of an eye, it took shape. She's got a deep. Alright, that's it. Everybody's got a D sword but the main guy. Now his little sister has a goddamn D sword. Resemble the cross far more the object than previous held Nanami. What is happening? You guys are the biggest loser in the world. You're sitting there repeating the same thing over and over again for the last 2 years. Or what, 2 years? 2 hours? And she has the damn D sword. Perhaps it's a sword. The sword which pierces itself perpendicular as if rejecting all.
ディソード
D sword.
返してよお願い
Nanami, as if embracing it, held it close to her chest. Tears, born from all sadness within her, fell upon it. Her D sword flickered scarlet, as if one with her pulse.
ないとミミさんのこと許さない
No. I know it doesn't. We saw my D sword. We know what it looks like. It looks like it's kind of like a giant lance or something, but I couldn't get it.
そんなナナちゃんも気ガロマニアックスだったの
Damn gigalomaniac.
今日だけは
Wait, what's happening? Is this simultaneous? What's happening?
ナナのわが
What
ま
is
ま
the timeline here?
受け止めてよ
You here? Is she back there? What's happening? The two of them? I saw Nanami crying. She was hanging her head low while she was trying her best to hold them in. Tears on her pained face all the same. Maybe this is my delusion. This is Takumi's delusion. I took one look at her then, I turned my gaze to the ceiling, resuming my mission of counting the rusted spots.
泣かれたって僕には何もできないよ。僕は妄想の存在なんだから。妄想の。
そんなこと言わないでよお兄が妄想のはずないじゃんだってナナは小さい頃のお兄のこと知ってるもんいつもナナに世話かけさせてちっとも頼りにならないけどでもお兄は昔からずっとナナと一緒だったよ
Oh, wait, she was right. It was just as she'd said. I have memories from when Nanami was little. I have memories from my childhood. Memories of watching the news reporting on the bus accident my classmates had been in. One that happened in the field trip I hadn't been able to go to. I remember my teacher, Mr. Saito, had passed away in the accident. The words of Rimi told a stranger. The words of Nanami, who I'd grown up with. But now the sane which to believe. The right person to believe wasn't Rimi. The right person to believe was Nanami. Nanami was real, that meant I too was real.
ナナミ。
I extended my hand towards her. Nanami's existence was my one and only hope. The sole existence that would save me.
助けて。ナナミ。
You have a D sword.
助けて。
Tell me how you got it. Nanami's warmth was real, then I could prove that I was real too. Nanami had been crying from loneliness, wiped away her tears, looked at me with her reddened eyes, smiled at me with her tearful smile, and...
抱きしめて
I sound like a delusion again. I nodded, then again and again, then once more. By doing so, if I could save Nanami, by doing so, I could save myself. Gladly, I hugged this bratty little sister of mine, no matter the time and place. I hugged my one and only sister in this world, the one that shared my blood.
ナナミ。助けて。
I wanted to feel her warmth as soon as I could. I soon opened my arms and welcomed her into my chest. Prepared to hug her. I held her ever so tightly.
お兄
Right at that very moment. No! She's fake! Nami's body was enveloped in a faint light, and suddenly she burst into countless blue particles. One after the other, the particles burst like bubbles in the air. The air in which my arms remained extended, never receiving the hug I so desired, my chest never feeling the warmth I so desired. What's up, Mr. Rip? Right before my very eyes, Nami had vanished. Damn it. She was the one telling me I was sane. Yep. Why did she have to disappear? With only her left hand, Nanami Nishijo tightly embraced the D-sword that had been born of her own blood. Right arm meanwhile lay upon it. The blood seeping from the bandage on her right wrist slowly ran down the sword's fuller.
知ってたのナナちゃんがギガロマニアックスだって
This question was directed at Norose. Evidently we chosen to remain a spectator. No matter how much Rimi glared his way, he always retained the same composed look on his face.
偶然の産物というものですよ。
ナナちゃんにひどいことしたくせに何が偶然なの
What's up, Pink Spike?
君の時のような苦労はしませんでした。我が社にはすでに覚醒させるためのマニュアルが確立していますから。もっとも西条拓にだけはそのマニュアルも通用しませんが、
Oh no.
イレギュラーな化け物は扱いづらいことこの上ない。
Kumi's the main one.
化け物だなんて
He doesn't even have a damn D
言わ
sword.
ないで。
He doesn't have a D sword.
君も化け物だからですか？
そういう話はしてない。
虚無から生まれたものだから
SummerSlam, yeah. It
と
starts
言
in
い換え
about
た方が良かったですね。
3.5 hours. The pre-show starts in 20 minutes, though. If you want to watch a 3-hour pre-show with no matches, sounds like fun. I was saying earlier, it'd be funny if they like put one random like match in the middle of the pre-show, just like fuck with everybody. It's like, oh, you missed, you missed Julia versus Io Sky. Why don't you watch like hour one? Why don't you watch the 90-minute mark of the pre-show? Everyone in her gaze, Remy bit her lip in frustration. Her trembling hand had yet to cease. I don't know. People are now saying that it wasn't Rosa's fault. They're saying it was India Seuss got mad that she had to lose the title and sandbagged her. It's hard to tell when you're watching because once one person sandbags, then the other person gets mad too, and you can't really tell. You know, they're both mad. You can't tell who's making her look bad. But that's what some people are saying. I was watching. I thought it was India Seuss. I thought it was Thunder Rosa's fault. It's kind of just because I've seen Thunder Rosa get mad in matches and have bad matches before. Unfortunately, yeah. Narissa, meanwhile, caressed Nami's head almost lovingly, acting as if she was under no threat whatsoever. I made no reaction to this. She simply hung her head low as she repeatedly drew shallow breaths.
闇のある一点だけを灯しているスポットライト。その周囲には無数の死体が転がっているのでしょうが、誰にも見えない。君自身にもです。
そんな話やめて。
例えば君が自殺をしたら、スポットライトは数十センチ横にずれて君を闇で覆ってくれるでしょう。そして何も知らない別の誰かが代わりにスポットライトを浴びる。
Under my Remy sharp tone, Narissa shrugged his shoulders, then returned to silence.
痛い。ナナちゃんを解放してほしいんだけど。
拘束は解きましたが。
連れて帰る。
構いませんよ。もう用済みです。
ナナちゃん、入ろう。その件は消して。
So what happened to her recently? Remember what happened to her? We saw her sort of recently.
だったらバングル返して。返すから。
Remy knew where Nana's hand was being kept on that day. The night Nami's hand was delivered to Takumi's room. After Takumi had collapsed from sheer humiliation on the roof of O-Front. Oh, so Remy took the hand from the refrigerator. It didn't disappear. Remy had retrieved the hand from within the refrigerator. Shogun was the one who had it now. It was in cold storage to keep it from decomposing. The bangle too was...
いいから。もらったの。ナナのだよ。バングル。勝手に持って行って。ひどいよ。
Nami's voice, which had only been speaking in incoherent room mumbles, was gradually growing more and more intense.
落ち着いて深呼吸して。自分をしっかり持って。
Yua had that thing, yeah. It was like, she was with her twin sister or something, and her dead twin sister came back and then tried to kill her or something. It was all kind of crazy.
一つ聞きま
I'll
す
get to her
が、
again soon. Norissa's sudden interruption elicited a click from Remy's tongue, only in her mind.
西条拓にとっては、君たち二人のうち、どちらがより重要度が高い存在ですか？
Sister or this girl who implanted some memories in his head that he thinks he knows. Remy cast her eyes downward.
リミさんなんか。
On the Nami instead raised her head. Its sparkle returned to her once empty eyes, a glaring brilliant shine, one that warranted only a single descriptor, abnormal. In panic, Remy frantically attempted to brace herself. I'd be frozen in place by the sudden darkness. It was as if all the lights had been turned off. We had no way of knowing whether it had been intentional or
負
accidental.
けちゃダメ。
When does the graphics come back here? It's been dark for a long time. Remy whispered so in an attempt to encourage herself. Her voice made the air undulate, but it melded itself into dark before long. She then noticed she could no longer hear Noah to his growing rumblings. I hate the dark. It always reminds me of back then. Remy tried looking around. All she could see was darkness, spread through every corner. No speck of the concept known as light existed. Did she not see because it was dark? Perhaps could it be perhaps her sight wasn't working properly? She even lost the ability to tell up from down. She could not tell where she was anymore. 5 senses had been eroded by darkness. Now her body was unable to recognize anything. As if her body had been turned into a gas. As if her consciousness had slipped away from its vessel. Past and present fueled as one. Remy's memories began to intermix. What was now? When was the past? The hell? And in a world ruled only by sheer darkness, a single ray of light shone down. And within that circular spot was Remy, cradling her knees close to her chest. We was seeing this very scene from within the darkness. Same as back then. Back then, Remy had nothing. Before she knew it, she'd been confined and tortured. Rather than anything physical, the psychological pain she suffered had been far greater. Daily life born from the depths of hell. Daily life consisted solely of enduring. How she had been before that, Remy did not know. When and how had she been confined? For how long had she been tortured? That Remy did not know. Something told her that this was not due to memory loss. The moment she suddenly opened her eyes, a consciousness known as herself had been born, or so she felt. Perhaps the one inhabiting the body before, unable to escape from all the pain, had ended her own life within her delusions. And perhaps, as a new her, a new personality, the current Remy had been born. Eva opening. Perhaps there had been countless other hers before her. Even the name Remy Sakahara may have been different each time. Myself, I don't exist. Something moved amid the darkness. Remy stood up and then slowly began to move toward it. As she moved, so did the spotlight. What she found was a dead Remy lying on the ground. Without ever looking at Remy, a whisper flowed from Remy's mouth.
あなたは何番目？
Uh-oh.
私は
How many Remys are there? Oh, is that a delusion? What is happening? His eyeballs twitched incessantly. An endless number of tears ran down from the corners of her eyes. The sword then slipped from her hands, and Remy sank to the floor. Much like a child would. She covered her face with her hands and weakly shook her head. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. Nami stared at her with a vacant look on her face, while the Norse let out a short, disinterested snort. I'm mad. Nami had vanished without a trace. Turned to bubbles before my very eyes. Her substance had simply ceased to exist.
どこだよ。出てきてよ。いるんだろ。また、たずらか。隠れてるんだ。やめろよ。
Vision grew blurry from my tears. No matter how many times I wiped them away, the lukewarm droplets kept pouring out. Both this warmth and these feelings making me shed these tears were delusions. I myself was one after all. Nami had been a delusion. I've been stupid to believe I'll be okay. Hopes were crushed just like that.
いつこの妄想って冷めるの？早く冷めてよ。
Not even I knew who I was talking to, but right now I was fine with anyone. I just wanted to be heard.
この妄想が冷めたら、僕が本当はイケメンな
An
んだ。
alpha.
そうに決まってる。物分かりのいい妹と、優しい姉がいるんだ。
The big sister.
かわいい彼女と付き合ってて、その子がリミとかセナみたいな電波女じゃなくて、セーラさんみたいないい子なんだ。
Like Sarah, not Remy or Senna. They're mean.
あなたは妄想の存在なんだよ。
No. Groveling on the floor, I buried my head in the mountain of trash. Tightly gripped Seiratan. Tried my best to avert my eyes from reality as I pounded the floor with my fist, but I couldn't. These words were pummeled in my mind relentlessly.
死にたい。
Back to this again.
どうして誰も僕を殺してくれないんだ。ねえ、セーラタン、
セーラタン
殺して、僕を殺して。
そんなに死にたいの？
死にたい。こんなのもう嫌だ。自分の存在が嫌だ。何も考えたくない。生きていたくない。
かわいそうなタッキー。だったら、すぐに殺される方法を教えてあげる。
Oh, nice.
Thank you so much. ありがとう。
Thanks, Granoia.
Auckland, it's another month where we don't have suffered bad decisions by the A's management. It's like Dobby being free, even though they like the toxic ex that can't leave when asked to do so. At least Oakland Roots SC is giving us something to cheer for.
Oakland
Please
Roots.
come to our games. And other months.
Another month. Oh, yeah, no sad. Sorry, Granoia. 58 months, though. Cheers, dude. Very, very much appreciate for another sub. I should go to an Oak. So what's going on? What's going on with them? I thought they're getting kicked out of the Coliseum. What's happening exactly? Are they like going to turn the? Are they going to tear the Coliseum down anyways? But anyways, yeah, the A's blow. I'm probably going to get rid of what's his face. Thank you so much, so very, very much appreciated. What does he have? The worst win loss? Well, it's not his fault. He has the worst win loss record as a manager because he's in the A's at the worst possible time. Ah, this is why you're my waifu. Sanderton always devoted herself to me, commendably so. Oakland, no, they're just Sacramento A's now. I mean, I don't know. Gonna be the Las Vegas A's. It's just the A's, yeah. Just like the Raiders, just the Raiders. Don't call them Las Vegas Raiders.
とりあえず、外に出るんさ。
What? Outside?
外に
As I was told, I stood up and headed for the door. And after nearly tripping and falling over trash countless times, I exited my base. I had no need to question her. Sarah would never betray me. She was my waifu after all, and she wasn't 3D. What's up, Atlantis? Once I was outside, a strange sound hit my ears. The sound. Hadn't heard it somewhere before?
この音を追いかけて。
What?
追いかけたら殺してもらえるの。
Oh boy.
そういうこと。
Yay!
優しく殺してもらえるかな。
私が保証するよ。
よかった。
Alright. Yeah, get ready for... Thanks for lurking. Get ready for SummerSlam later.
やっと死ねる。
The sound was my messiah, the bell of salvation that would grant me passage to the promised land. With Serotan in hand, I set off towards the sound. SummerSlam. When I got close to the sound, it would move farther away, almost like it was guiding me somewhere. Every time I seemed to be onto it, it would quickly become distant. Vin shows that'd be so funny. Every time I seemed to lose track of it, it would come close and wait for me. As though it had a will of its own. Sound with a will of its own. Reminded me of Shogun's existence. His face flashed through my mind, but I quickly grew indifferent to it. Whether it was him or someone else, as long as someone killed me, I didn't mind. I myself wondered about the true nature of the sound. I was losing their existence, and I was going to die pretty soon, so there's no point in caring. My head completely empty of all thoughts. Like a moth to flame, I staggered after the sound. Barrage of noise now surrounded me. I was able to differentiate any of them. With a click of my tongue, I tried to find the origin of the clamor. I had a gulp instead. Something without me having realized I was standing in Scramble Crossing. Then I realized the clamor was coming from the sheer number of people crammed into the crossing. It was almost jam-packed and was pushing right up against it like a morning train ride during rush hour. Apparently when it had been broadcasted from the top of O-Front, there's an even bigger number of people here. Now that I thought about it, Grim had mentioned something about this. Something about there being a festival at Scramble Crossing tonight. The hell is this, Sarah? I don't have the horrible memories of this place. How'd you bring me here? For revenge. Is happy or bad? Where's the person who's gonna kill me, Sarah? What?
目の前。
What?
目の前。
What?
目の前。
What?
目の前。
What? tremendous crowd on this autumn cold night. What kind of festival could make so many people gather to the point of there being no room to breathe? Everyone was focused on me. I braced myself for it to happen again, being verbally abused, laughed at, humiliated. My legs froze as I recalled the trauma from back then. And yet...
頑張れ
応援してるね
What?
頑張って西条
華々しく散ってこい
What?
若いのに勇気があるわね。
お前のこと忘れないからな最後まで見守っててやるぞ男を見せてくれ
Hmm? I don't think his reaction was different from last time. Rather than insults, everyone was hitting me with kind words of encouragement. I was so confused that I blinked a few times. Were they cheering me on?
そのための祭りだもんみんなさタッキーを待っててくれたんだよ
Before me, a pathway showed itself in the center of the crowd of people. Formed an arch with their arms, urging me to go through. It was like an elementary school graduation. Past the many arms was the entrance to O Front, and so I nervously started heading toward it. As I walked towards comfort were thrown my way without end. Except inside O Front, even the Tatsuya and Starbricks employees greeted me with applause. Courage gradually came to me, courage to finally die. Oh, here's where I saw the D-sword before. The rooftop of O Front was just as dark as last time. I gulped. Reminded what transpired last time I'd come here. I hesitated to move any further at the moment. Even after gathering all that courage, I was made painfully aware of how much a pussy I truly was. No matter what happened, that would never
き
change.
っと戻ってくると
Oh no.
信じてたよ。
Shogun! What? Suddenly, a wheelchair creaked. You know that noise, just like he had last time. Shogun showed himself. He was wearing the Death Spider helmet today as well. Darth Spider, I mean. But Shogun wasn't the only one here.
よくもう一度
What?
挑戦する気になったな。
すごいな
Wait a minute. Want me to die or do you want me to get the D-sword?
西条くんのおかげで私も勇気をもらいました君はとても崇
It
高
has
だ
his
わ
back too.
匠
Senak, Kozupi, Yua, and Ayase. All of them stood in a line, smiling at me.
一緒に飛ぶわ私たち
Huh?
あなたと
Yay!
ね怖くないよ
Both sides of me, Kozupi and Ayase took one of my hands each. It wasn't just us that held hands. Sen and Yua joined us too, all five of us to hand in hand. Is this a recreation of the group dive? The crowd down below, watching us with bated breath, clapped in unison, as if they were giving us their blessings, extolling us.
さようなら。
Uh,
君のことは忘れないよ。
Shogun waved us goodbye with his slender hand. Then Kozubi and Ayase pulled me in. They invited me to frolic with them as if they were inviting me to dance with them. Oh, they had the most gentle smiles on their faces. And so without feeling even an ounce of fear, I smoothly was able to dance away into the air. No, it was a delusion. Such thoughts came to my mind. How wonderful it would be if I died with such a happy death. And yet in the end, too, it had been a delusion. The path of people in front of me was real. The path that seemed to guide me forward, but no one was making an arch with their arms. They never looked at me, but their eyes were cold and sharp, staring daggers at me with what felt close to murderous intent. Everyone was out for blood. No one had been waiting for me. No one had given me their blessing. The energy they'd back when I was humiliating myself on top of O Front was gone. The reality was, I probably wouldn't be able to die a happy death. But anybody had already expected that even before all this, even so it didn't matter to me. As long as I died, it didn't matter. As long as someone killed me, it didn't matter. And so I laughed and laughed and walked through the path between the people. When I looked up, I realized that all four enormous jumbotrons were showing footage of me walking through the crowd. I'm sure that just like last time, this was national broadcast too. View rate was even 40%. I died by being watched by approximately 48 million people. Death of me, which is more and more than delusionary existence. Death of me, which had no value whatsoever. Death of me, which is wholly and entirely worthless. What you all want to see? Congratulations, here you go. It doesn't matter either way to me. As long as I die, I don't care how many people see it. And so I simply for the battery of cameras and microphones. Spanish Francisco for them, maybe. The swarm of flashes burst in unison. Blinding lights flashed intermittently. Shutting my eyes, I fought to endure them. And a reporter that was probably in his 40s spoke up. I'd seen him on a number of talk shows before.
西条君今回はどんなパフォーマンスを見せてくれるんだい
Nah.
ところで実は今日の昼に逮捕された貼り付け事件の容疑者は実行犯に過ぎなくて黒幕がいるっていう話があるんだけどどう思うかな
Who's the suspect? Why was a random guy acting all buddy-buddy with me? Who's last supposed to me? He's asking for my opinion? Guess when the media gets called up about this criminal psychology professors every time, they always say the same standard, uninteresting bullshit. Even an amateur like me could serve as a replacement. Regardless, couldn't have any less of an opinion on what the guy was talking about. I lost all interest in New Gen. I came here to be killed, not to answer questions. I had no energy for it.
それでね、西条君、ズバリ聞くけど、真犯人と目される人物は通称その目誰の目と言われていて、それは君なんじゃないかっていう噂があるんだよね。
そうかもね。
Messages were broadcast all throughout Shibuya via the Jumbotron speakers. Commotion ensued. Bloodthirsty atmosphere got even stronger among the people gathered here. Just kill me already. Stop. Set me free. Stop asking me for things. Yet, despite my wishes, the microphones came even closer. They pushed so violently towards me that the next step would be shoving one straight in my mouth. Other reporters, too, they were raining questions down on me incessantly.
それは事件への関与を認める発言って考えていいんですか？
現実とゲームとの区別ができなくなるような経験はありますか？
Playing Grand Theft Auto in IRL.
その関係について聞かせてください。
人を殺したのはやはりゲーム感覚だったりしま
Who's
す
the
か？
suspect? Kon Maeda? Komaeda? Who's that? In a sense, I was like a video game character. Someone please reset me. Just give me the game over once and for all. As soon as there was word off my mouse, the crowd, at the peak of its tension, exploded.
死ね
人でなし
殺してやるよ
地獄に落ちろ。
死刑にしろ！ぶち殺せ！殺人鬼！
I was overwhelmed by the waves of people. And as the screams and shouts swarmed, I was swallowed up by the undulating masses. I was tossed around and jostled, crushed to nothing and pulverized. I shouted to go in all directions, my body started floating, my soles left the ground. And how much I struggled, I couldn't do anything. I was struck on the head, punched in the arms. None of it was painful enough to kill me. With no room to breathe, I started to suffocate, but I didn't resist. I trusted my body to the chaos. In doing so, the pressure suddenly disappeared, and my body fell to the floor. Seroton fell from my hands and toppled onto the asphalt. My feet lined up like trees in the forest. As they writhed about, my waifu rolled through the gaps between them. Despite extending my hands, I couldn't reach her. Face complete with that radiant, endlessly radiant smile of hers, and the smile that soothed my soul was stepped on by someone's shoe.
痛いよ
Uh. Small body was kicked farther away. Some lady in red high heels ended up crushing her torso. Seroton's killed.
セーラ
No matter how much I called out to her, no answer came. The one and only ally was gone. Like my chest was being crushed by sorrow. I had lost all reason to stay in this world, to live. I looked up, surrounded by people even the night sky was hidden away from me. No one noticed I was there, slumped down on the ground. And I was right here, even though I was asking for someone to kill me. Why is everyone ignoring me? Suddenly, I felt it right in the nape of my neck. A tingling sensation. God's gaze.
君は
What? Shogun? In my mind.
ここで死んじゃダメだ。
What? A certain voice rang. I gulped.
イソードを手に入れて。
Give me the goddamn... Give me... Oh my god. Give me the goddamn D-sword now and from the grit of my back teeth. Where is it? Isn't it by the sign? I sure was that wheelchair among the crowd. That bastard cosplaying as Darth Spider. It's the one behind this festival, huh? I knew it. Are you planning to wheel me out here and threaten me all while you're in your offensive Darth Spider cosplay? Trying to recreate what happened last time. Wish for death. The entire time I'd been alive, I'd been some tool for someone else's amusement. I couldn't take it
あの
anymore.
時の自称将軍は僕じゃない。
Two shoguns? What is this?
僕はコスプレはしないよ。
I don't care. Just kill me, please.
あいつらが動き出しているんだ。この場は今以上の混乱になるよ。
Hey?
すべての黒幕。
Just smoking your
この
Shinjuku.
混乱を引き起こした者たち。
This is like,
混乱を利用して
is this by
利
the
己を追求しようとする
statue?
者
What's
た
up,
ち。
Japarka? By the dog statue?
彼らを止められるのは君だけなんだ。
I stood up. Angry voices kept surging above my head. No one was looking at me. The onlookers and the people from the media were all jumbled together, grabbing each other, cursing each other, punching each other. Why were they?
沈黙の兵器。
Oh, the silent weapon.
ノア2はすでに稼働してる。この混乱が起とされた一番の目的は、無差別人体実験。
Something hard hit my head. I Sharp pain ran through me. Pain so intense I thought my skull had been broken. My hands automatically shot up to my head, cradling it. Looked around with tears in my eyes. I found a rock on the ground the size of a fist, a tiny smear of blood-colored part of it. Someone had thrown a rock and it hit me. Pain coursed through me. Moving my head towards the source, my fingers touched something sticky. Bringing my hand down in front of my face, I saw blood on my fingertips, my own blood. Made me bleed my own blood. A dry explosion in this distance, followed by a lady screaming. A gunshot? Are people with guns here? Why was everyone so worked up? Why was everyone fighting each other despite being total strangers? Why was this so chaotic? The villain sacrifice everyone was waiting for wasn't mine?
渋谷の GE レートバイオリズムがありえないくらいに上昇してるんだ
He
よ
was trying to kill me. Uh-oh.
言ったでしょ無差別人体実験だってこの場にいる人たちは今
Why didn't you tell me the first
見え
time?
ない攻撃を受けているんだ
I heard a sound, a creaking, rusty sound. Sound akin to a dying woman gasping for air. Sound of a wheelchair. Many people there were, despite the wall of people surging erratically, Shogun moved his wheelchair forward. Not moving to anyone without getting dragged into a single fight, he made his way straight to me. So small with a body of skin and bone, he was covered in wrinkles and looked so frail, as he might break at the slightest touch. His eyes were cloudy as could be. I didn't know what he was looking at, nor what he saw through those eyes. Couldn't bring myself to look away anymore, and suddenly, the tumult surrounding me began to grow distant.
ずっと君を見ていたよ
The same voice as the first time we met. It wasn't the same voice I heard. Oh. It wasn't the strange voice I heard at O Front. What?
君は誰なの僕は君だよ
No. What? With those few words, I finally understood.
僕を妄想して生み出したのも
He's in the hospital room.
神の自然の正体も君だったんだね
Then why don't you get the D sword? He's my creator. Existence who envisioned me within a delusion. Yeah, someone who I could never hope to match up to.
君の名前は西条匠
No, it's my name. The real me, the original me.
君はいくつなの君と同い年だよ
What?
君の設定とね
17 years old. Even though he was so small, even though he was covered in wrinkles, he was only 17 years
この
old.
ままだと世界が死んじゃうノア2にあらゆる人の心は支配されちゃうだから君に託したんだ
Trusted what
意
exactly?
味がわかんないよそんなの僕には関係ない頼むよ僕を消して今すぐに消してほしい
Logan's wrinkles stirred. He was likely making an expression, but I couldn't see it as anything other than wrinkles shifting on his face.
全部僕のせいなんだ僕が IR2 を妄想しちゃったせいで
You made IR2? It wasn't me? Oh yeah, I'm fake. There it is.
なんとか止めようとしたけど僕はこんな体だから満足に動くこともできないそれで君を生み出した
Oh.
君に止めてもらうためにそんなの知らない僕は君のコピーだけど僕はやりたくないコピーだけが苦しまなくちゃいけないなんてそんなの嫌だ死なせてよ君はコピーじゃないもう一人の僕だ
What? Can I get the D sword then?
つまりコピーじゃないか君のしてることはすごく残酷だ悪かったって思ってるよでも他に方法はなかった今世界の命運は君にかかっていると言っても過言じゃないんだ
No, why is fate of the world on my shoulders? What is going on? Been so many times in games.
そんなのリミに頼めばいいじゃないか知り合いなんでしょ
Acquaintances. That on purpose. They want to think they were lovers or we were lovers. They were lovers or good friends. I see, Remy. So only then did I realize my feelings. I'm jealous of the original me. I was rich, coming from a delusionary existence. What a fucking disgrace. I couldn't believe myself. Not knowing your place. And there was this. My own feelings made me want to throw up. My emotions continued to spiral. I wanted to die.
リミはナナミを助けに行って 逆に捕まっちゃったんだ。
So,
リミはね、僕を救おうとしてくれていた。その理由は君も知っているよね。
あれは空。あの空は
what?
どうしてあんなに泣きたくなるくらい
White.
青いのかな。
それを望んだから。
私は望んでない。
僕が望んだんだ。ここは君の心象世界であると同時に僕の心象世界でもあるから。
Which world? Remy turned towards me. She stared at me, her face deeply puzzled.
あなた誰？ここには私以外はいないはずなのに、あなたは別の私。
違うよ。
だったら誰？どうやってここに来たの？私の心の中だよ。ずっと暗闇しかなかった。光は私に当たるスポットライトだけ。それなのにあなたが来た途端に暗闇がなくなって空ができた。
妄想がシンクロしたんだ。君の力がとても強かったから。
そう。
Up toward the sky once more. It was a crystal clear azure sky.
私本物の空見たことないんだ。私っていう人格が生まれた時にはね、もう暗い部屋に閉じ込められてた。心の中も外も闇しかなかった。そこからは絶対に出してもらえないの。私今死のうとしてたんだ。
No.
心を自殺させるの。きっとこれまでの私もそうしてきたと思うし、でもせっかくあなたが空を持ってきてくれたから、この光景を記憶に刻んでおいていいかな。次の私がまたこうして想像できるように。
死にたいの？
うん。
本当の空を見てみたいとは思わないの？
ねえ、空って本当にあるのかな？
あるよ。でも現実の空はこの空よりも汚れてる。
Looks gross.
どこにある？あの空はどこにあるの？
君が望めばどこにでも。
望んでいいの？
もちろんだよ。
どうやって望むの？
光は電磁場の波。その振動現象を人の視覚は色として捉えるんだ。自分のデッドスポットに望む色を当てはめてごらん。そうすれば君の望む世界の色を作り出
Make
せ
yourself
る。
trip out.
世界は君の望みに応えてくれるよ。
Several days, even months perhaps, had passed since that encounter. One day, Remy had come to my hospital room. Record of mass power usage. She and I were fellow patients at the same hospital. All possessed of something that transcended human understanding, the power of gigolomania, an attribute we were unsure about whether to abhor or take great pride in.
お兄、お客さんだよ。ねえねえ、誰？彼女さん、いつの間に？ やるね鬼ってば。また会えたね。
He was deeply haggard. Her skin was morbidly pale, her hair was dry and neglected, growing according to its own whims. Her fingernails were cracked. Eyes constantly squinted as if dazzled by brilliant light.
本物の空は見られた？
そうだ。
Nanami had been watching us talking and suddenly clapped her hands in apparent remembrance.
ナナ、お洗濯してこなくちゃ。リミさんでしたっけ？どうぞごゆっくり。
Nanami left the room. Rimi and I vacantly watched her depart. Rimi then turned back toward me.
匠はいつから入院してるの
5年ぐらい。
退院の予定は？
5 years?
ないよ。僕の余命はあと2年ぐらいだと思うし。
私はあなたのおかげで頑張ることができた。終わりなんて絶対にないと思ってた。でもあなたが教えてくれた空を見るまで頑張ろうと思った。そしたら急に外に出してもらえた。用済みになったって言った方が正しいかもしれないけど、
そう。
私はあなたに救われたの。だから今度は私があなたの力になりたい。
そんなの気にしなくていい。わざわざ僕に会いに来なくてもいいよ。君にはこれから普通に生きてほしい。
普通の生き方なんてわからないから。
Rimi's past, Rimi's feelings, Rimi's resolve. Just tight as I remembered them all.
なんでリミは僕に近づいてきたの？彼女は君の近くにいることで、君の行動、君に接触してくる人間のことを監視して、君を覚醒させないようにしていたんだ。彼女を恨まないであげて。彼女はただ、おせっかいなだけなんだ。
Tinge of sadness appeared in Shogun's
巻き
voice.
込みたくなかったのに。彼女は僕がどれだけ止めても聞いてくれなかった。勝手に僕に恩義なんか感じて、本当におせっかいだよ。リミとナナミは誰に捕まってるの？
Norose.
プロジェクトノアの責任者。すべての黒幕。野呂瀬源一。かつてリミを捕らえて拷問していた男でもある。それなのにリミはナナミと僕と、そして君を助けるためにあの男のところへたった一人で乗り込んでいっちゃった。
Voice echoed within my head. They're the words of a Rimi I didn't know, or she had spoken to Shogun.
リミ？
私、実はちょっとした報告があります。ナナちゃんをこれから助けに行こうと思って。
やめるんだ。君はあの男、野呂瀬とはもう会いたくないでしょ？
私って信用されてないな。平気だってば。昔の話だしね。
Also, she's got a D sword.
私の
It's
感
like a
情
twin
と
D sword.
ナナちゃんを助けることとどっちを優先させるかなんて決まりきってることだよ。
ナナミを助けるのも、プロジェクトノアを止めるのも、僕のやるべきことだ。君は、そこまでしなくていいんだよ。
言ったでしょ。私は
She got two,
あ
yeah.
なたの力になりたいって。それに、タクには関わらせたくないの。
おせっかいだね。
そうかもね。あなたにしか言われたことはないけど、 ねえ、ちょっとだけ語っちゃっていいかな。タクにね、いろいろひどいこと言っちゃったんだ。しかもそんなことしておいてすごく自分勝手なんだけど、私彼と一緒に過ごした時間はとっても楽しかったって思っちゃってるんだ。何もかもが妄想でまみれた
うん
まやかしでしかなかったのに、学生生活もあの学校に私やタクが通っていることも、大地と友達だっていうことも、私がタクと一緒にいようとしたことも、タクの存在そのものも、タクってどうしようもないくらい情けなくて、
うん
どうしようもないくらい弱くて、きっと普通の女だったら見向きもしないような男の子なんだよ。なのに私の心には楽しかったっていう気持ちがあるの。なのに私の心にはもっと一緒にいたかったっていう気持ちがあるの。
He's
この
fake.
気持ちって何なのかな。
インプリンティングのようなもの
Imprinting.
かもしれないね。
Oh, right.
本能っていうこ
A
とか
child
な。
recognizes their parent.
それって意外とロマンチックかも。
君が楽しかったなら、きっと彼も楽しかったと思うよ。
そうだといいな。私はタクと似たようなものだから、肉体が妄想から作られた存在と、
Mm-mm.
人格が妄想
Both
から作られた
delusions.
存在と、どっちも変わらないでしょ。だからタクのこと消したくなかった。消さなくちゃダメだって思ってたんだけどね。でもいつの間にか感情移入しちゃったみたい。タクにはごく普通に暮らしていってもらいたいの。私はタクミもタクも助けたい。
Mm.
ねえ、タクのことはそっとしておいてあげて。
そういうわけにはいかない。ノア2を破壊するために彼は必要だよ。
私が何とかするから。
君はそんなことしなくていい。君こそごく普通に暮らしていくべきだ。
さてと、そろそろ切るね。
リミ、やめて。
No.
本当に大丈夫だって。あなたは何も心配しないで。私が全部決着をつけてくるからね。タクミ。
Oh, this isn't good. This is how she goes and gets captured. It was already too late. These words sank into my heart. Really a hopeless meddler. Why should she be fighting so hard? Why did she have to keep acting so selflessly?
私はタクの味方だから。
Memories of Remy all came back to me. It was the short time we'd spent together until now. Memories of feelings that had been hidden behind every word she'd said.
私が一緒にいてあげる。
Past year and a half, I had to summarize what I'd done, mostly be ESO, RMT, and Eroge. I devoted myself entirely to those things, all while staying shut inside my base. I barely gone to school. I really tried to talk to anyone. Born into this world, I lived as though I were dead. For the past month or so, that had changed. One which is all bloody. Even though as a result of this, I've been lied to.
朝一緒に学校行って、
Stay by the side of someone like
学
me.
校では休み時間にどうでもいいこと話して、
She gave me peace of mind when I was quivering in fear.
お昼休みは一緒にご飯食べて、
All in the same pose, yeah. She supported the failure that I was encouraged with.
夕方一緒に帰って、
embraced me.
帰るついで
Come on,
に
this is getting
た
ridiculous.
まにどこかのお店に寄ったりして
It taught a delusionary existence like me the warmth that humanity
バッ
held.
クの部屋でちょっとだけおしゃべりして
She never erased me, and yet she tried to protect me.
それでまた明日ねって手を振って別れて
She made memories with me.
そんなのでいいなら私いくらでもしてあげるよ
A year and a half long life. I can still vividly remember the time I had spent with her even now.
そういうの結構憧れなんだ
Rimi's little gestures, Rimi's scent watching from her hair, Rimi's little sighs and the sounds that came from them, Rimi's glimmering eyes, Rimi's cheerful voice, Rimi's tender warmth. Okay, this is... I don't know who wrote this. Ah, I see. I was in love with Rimi. How disgusting was that? What a freak. Wry smile kept to my face in response to my own creepiness. Illusionary existence, falling in love? Feelings of love something that illusionary existence could feel? Or were they mere illusion? I didn't know, but I wanted to be true to those feelings. Rimi saw me as a friend. There was no way she saw me as someone of the opposite sex. Besides, her taco freak like me wouldn't go well together with her. Even so, even if she didn't love me back, even if it was just for my own satisfaction, if I was just illusionary existence, I at least wanted to do something for someone for Rimi before I disappeared. It was disgusting that a disgusting taco freak would fall in love. It was disgusting that a disgusting illusionary existence would fall in love. But so what? Even if it was disgusting, if it wouldn't go anywhere, I didn't want to brush these feelings away as mere illusions and delusions. The memories of this past were both Rimi's and mine's mutually recognized between us both. Even if the rest were just make-believe, these memories and the feelings born from them were real.
世界を救ってほしい。
What? Shogun said. I shook my head.
僕は勇者じゃない。人間でもない。そんな僕に、世界を救えとか、何を考えてるの？
君には本当に悪いと思ってるけど、君にやってもらうしかないんだ。
自分に謝るなんてバカみたいだ。
Stared at the real me. The real me caught the fake me's gaze.
僕は君が嫌いだ。
僕は、君が羨ましいよ。
僕は世界のためになんか頑張らない。世界を救うとか、そんなことどうでもいい。
How did he sneak into the cafe to speak with you? What are you talking about? Couldn't care less about saving the world. Be the one to... Oh, into the chat room, you mean? I'd be the one to give me more meaning.
ただ、
He's me, so he'd know everything I
僕
did.
はリミを助ける。
ありがとう。
No, so I won't save the world, but I'll go after save Rimi. Sounds Rimi started coming back. More and more oil was being poured in the fires of chaos. It had already become a riot. So with the smell of blood. Around me I heard some sounds of screams, shouts, moans, and a mechanical noise almost like audio feedback. It was all pulled together and overflowed across the crossing.
ディソードを手に入れる方法を教え
Give
て。
me the goddamn D-sword.
君はすでにそれを知っているはずだよ。
Right answer. My gaze moved upwards, looking for the silhouette of the sword blending into the scenery. Rocks were thrown around, canisters of tear gas, amid smoke rise from the ground. People from every direction crashed into me time and time again. Yeah, I mean, just... How did he... I don't know if he, like, snuck in. He just into the chat room, right? In the center of it all was focused and sought the sword, no one seen from the roof of Ofrent. It would be visible already, without a doubt. It had to be under somewhere. Lost him with the sword. Can I see it now? I can't see it now. Let me see the D-sword. The D-sword is always right beside me. Now sees it. There it is.
見つけた。
The building to the right of 107, there's a vertical billboard. I looked toward it. I saw the shape of a sword. Anxiety seeped into me. I swallowed back my saliva. I looked from the roof of Ofrent, and be able to perceive its shape. But in the end, I had been able to physically grasp
自
it.
分の意志を強く持つんだ。迷っちゃダメだからね。君にはもう、剣を手に入れる資格は十分にある。
I extended my hand as I stood in place. In order to save someone dear to me, I had to get it no matter what. No matter what, I gritted my teeth. Couldn't be like last time. My mind was surprisingly calm. I wasn't afraid. I couldn't be afraid. It wasn't that I was keeping a cool head. Emotions simmered and boiled inside me. I had something I needed to do.
掴むんだ。
107 was 100 meters away. Upon overlapping my fist with the sword, I grasped it. I got the D-sword. Even though I should have grabbed an empty spot in the air, there was something there. Neither hot nor cold, neither hard nor soft. Dun dun dun! With my hold on it, I drew it closer to me. Ripples surfed across the air, and from within those ripples, it slid free. Nah. Finally got the goddamn D-sword. Now to kill. Everyone. All too long to be called a sword, delicate enough to be shattered at a moment's notice, invaded with phantasmal elegance, like any meretricious features, absent of vulgarishness. Great word there. With an immaculate malice, capable of swallowing one's soul whole, on which belonged an awe-inspiring beauty. Thinking with my exalted heart, the sign of the sinister flames of the handle flickered. I didn't feel an ounce of weight. I know, mine's kind of pretty normal looking. Rather have been as an extension of my arm. But it's longer than, it's, just longer than real. I can hit people from further away. So that's the best range. As I went there from the very beginning, it's already part of my own body. Didn't feel like I was holding a sword. So this was a D-sword. I got it in front of me with both hands. Should be able to reboot it now. I got to mutually be recognized by my surroundings. The sword would be brought forth into reality. As far as how to do it, I didn't know. I simply desired it. Shouted in my heart for it to become reality. All hesitation within me was gone. I have the power! It's not the power of Grayskull, okay. The D-sword, as an answer to my call, started faintly shining. The flaming pattern on the hill transformed into real flames. Flames would swiftly envelop the sword. Yeah, I felt no heat. Soon enough, those flames were swallowed by the entirety of the sword's body, and... With the fierce impact, the D-sword shone with a crimson light. And people around me were surprised by my sword. However, it was only a handful of them, only a handful left dumbfounded by its appearance. Others too focused on punching and kicking each other. Riots didn't seem to be stopping anytime
この
soon.
暴動を引き起こしているポーターたちを探すんだ。彼らの持つ機械を破壊すればバイオリズムの高騰も収まる。ポーターノア2の端末としての存在。君はすでにそのヒントを見てきたはずだよ。君の頭の中に。それは記憶として刻まれている。
Called forth all that I had seen. What? Sing one of her songs. Sarah dies in the awakening. Yep, it's all Sarah's fault. All the other characters we've seen so far. What is this? No.
返して。7のバングル返して。
地点 L2 の8 0.62 メガ GE ハイスコアです。
Nice score this. What is this? Like a montage of what's happening here.
望み。
我が社ではポーターと呼んでいます。
Sam Porter's
言い換えれば
backpacks little
マインドコントロールのための部隊。
re-amplify the mind control signal. Kill everyone with a backpack. All the things I had unconsciously seen, all the things I unconsciously read.
僕は盗撮野郎ってことか。お似合いだね。
Like a comic giving orders as I laughed at myself.
チャネルを開放してポーターたちの心を読むんだ。コズピ
Open
ー
your
の
mind.
彼らはこのスクランブル交差点のどこかに居場所を探り当てて。
Open my channel. I don't have to think about what to do. By being conscious of it, I enacted by feel alone. I am now Neidhart. In the minds of everyone here, the negative emotions became visible and instantly flowed into me. Well, malice, hatred, envy, lust, servility, cowardice, superficiality, corruption, cunning, indecency, hideousness, vulgarity, libido, madness, bloodthirst. It's a manifestation of the unsightly emotions people hid from one another, more brutal, unequivocal, and repugnant than the words could ever be. All the negative emotions people held inside them became a torrent of images, and this torrent proceeded to swallow up, shatter, and violate my mind. What's up, Smoke? Good to see you, dude. I was verbally abused by words of disdain, gazes of contempt rained down upon me. I was spat on. My nails were peeled off. I was punched in the face multiple times. I was kicked in the ass. My hair was torn out. My nose was chewed to shreds. My eyeballs gouged out. I was ripped from my mouth. My blood was sucked. I was showered with boiling water and covered with burns. This is great. I was raped in the ass. My genitals were crushed. All my skin was torn off. Arms were broken. All my bones were broken. I mean, what is this? I was beaten with a blunt weapon. I was stabbed with a... How long does this go on for? My entire body burned in flames. We synchronized it all. My mind being broke. I felt like I was about to go insane. Into my tree that desperately held on my consciousness. This is how Cosbin had lived their whole life.
見るべき妄想をコントロールするんだ。全てを受信しちゃダメだ。標的を絞り込み、音を頼りにするんだ。
Sound. While enduring the negative emotions overwhelming me, I listened carefully. I heard voices from all around. Isolated them, I searched for the sound. I heard a mechanical sound. The one Seraton said would kill me. Oh, nice. It's 20th anniversary of his WWE debut. That's crazy. The sound had been inside the memories I'd gotten from reading minds. Someone destroyed a porter's rucksack that emitted the sound with their D-sword. So I focused on that sound, the delusion I'd heard. Multiple voices. There was more than one porter here.
3人いるみたいだ。
When my brother took a step forward, in front of me was a chaotic crowd. Without a trace of order, they moved throughout the scramble, crossing as they pleased, beating each other within an instant of their lives. It's difficult to go straight through. Yeah, it's a Japanese game. I hacked the delusions, people in the direction of the target. So little by little, the people in my field of view made way, and there was a path made for me. It's gone for half of them. There was a single man about 50 meters from me. All of the obstacles between me and him had now been removed. Our eyes met. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit crazier. There's a plump man in a suit, wearing a rucksack on his back.
1人目。
The shortest path there. I ran straight ahead with the crowd without bumping into anyone, all while dragging my D-sword along with me. Before having noticed me frantically turned around and tried to run, but I wouldn't allow it. Just like I said, I swung my D-sword, a blade longer than I was tall. As always, it felt weightless. I could wield it like it was an extension of my arm. Took the D-sword, dug into the rucksack, then almost it had been melted unfathomably high temperature. Its contents were vaporized. The man sunk to the sanctum and cleared his head as he trembled from fear. I looked at him one more time, headed for the second one. Below O-front. Once again, the obstacles leading up to it began to disappear, and the path was built. It's the same. The man was extremely thin, wore a checkerboard suit, checkerboard shirt, and a pair of jeans. He had long hair, his skin was alarmingly pale. He seemed to be holding the bag, which he was treating with great care. Noticing me, he tried to blend into the crowd. Before I could do anything, I drew my D-sword, threw my D-sword. Fly. From the delusion. Ignoring all known laws of physics, it flew parallel to the ground, soaring faster and faster. Delicately revised its path and pierced the man's bag with unmatched accuracy. Made a faint light and fell to the ground. Just one more. Approached the man now on the ground, retrieved my D-sword. The porter was in front of Hachiko, which is the dog statue. I'd seen that porter countless times by now. Actually, let me be more precise. I talked to them almost every day. The crowd dissipated for the third time my direct path appeared. At the end of it was a woman wearing white scrubs. No, not Hazuki! In fact, they made her conspicuous as could
あ
be.
なたが3人目です。葉月さん、
No, no.
グリム。
Grim? What? Grim was Hazuki-san this whole time? What the hell? Huge plot twist. The nurse had smiled at me so gently at the hospital. Now glaring daggers at me. She now had a large handbag with her. Most likely there was a Noah 2 terminal inside. Yeah.
真実を暴くんだ。彼女がしてきたことをこの場にいる人たちに提示すれば、この熱病のような混乱は収まる。
What she did?
彼女がグリムなら、これまでの不自然な言動に君は気づいているはず。
Grimlock has done this.
僕が最初に君に接触した
She was
時
on the
のこと
computer a
を
lot, yeah. Thinking about
思い出して。
Alright, I see.
僕は君に貼り付け事件の予言をした。君への継承だった。
Yeah, he sent me the picture originally.
でも僕よりも先に貼り付けを予言した人間がいる。
Remember the exchange we had the first time. Almost before Shogun talked to me for the first time, Grim had left the chat room, but right before that they posted an image as a joke, a drawing. It was the very same drawing that Hatsuki-san had scribbled on the medical chart. The drawing had been very poorly done, but the matter was, it was the... So yeah, that doesn't make sense. She did have the same drawing at that one point, but she was Grim the whole time. The drawing had been poorly done, but the matter was just, it was depicting the crucifixion case. Besides, the first time Grim had talked to me about the new gen case, they had said this. All up in your neighborhood. They never told them where I lived in Shibuya. And a few hours earlier, Grim had left comments that seemed like they knew that was Takumi. Playing Retro Rewind, oh nice. Yeah, that one you have that you run the arcade. You're a celebrity, so you'll be the center of attention. Singing back onto the hospital, Hazuki-san had said.
高階先生はもういません。
And a week later, Takashina's corpse had been found. Swallowed back my
あ
saliva.
の人が真犯人。
Oh my god. Mine was right before me. If I looked inward, I could see.
信仰の救いあれ。
Uh-oh. It's like some stuff, yeah. Midnight fell on H Tokyo General Hospital, the place of Hazuki Shino's work. In one of its operating rooms, the nurse stood nearly still. Behind a bed, a young man, Konoe Chizuo. Sleeping pills he had been given had induced a deep coma in him.
信仰の救いあれ。
One of those crazy nurses that kills the patients. She repeated the same words over and over again like a Buddhist prayer as he caressed her large swollen abdomen. She removed her white scrubs and sat atop the operating table, scalpel in hand.
救いあれ。
No anesthesia to speak of, she incised her own abdomen. Incision so masterfully done it would have earned her incredible praise from surgeons and obstetricians alike. But she was a mere nurse, her surgical skills were quite remarkable. Meanwhile, during the so she's the one who did that second killing. Meanwhile, during the uninhibited pain of her self-surgery, the incision she made in her abdomen was perforated with utmost dexterity. Blood and amniotic fluid flowed from the wound, her face contorted in pain. Then after a few grueling moments had passed, as he considered her own hand inside her own abdomen, whether she moved a blood-stained fetus, because he had to reach full maturity, and its forced removal had already ended its life prematurely. Hazuki performed an omphaloptomy, cutting the umbilical cord. Upon completion of that, she embraced the child lovingly, then placed it on the stand next to the operating table. With her hands now free, she began suturing her wound. The deal took nearly an hour to complete. The sheer amount of pain the procedure procured, any normal person would have fainted long ago. Great Lion Zero. Returning the fetus to her embrace, she stood up from the operating table and approached the man lying down on the bed. Shut eyes, she stood down and looked down the conscious man's face, thrust the scalpel into his abdomen. The movement was reckless without care, providing a vast contrast to how delicately and accurately she'd torn open her own abdomen before. Pain roused the man. Before he could consider any hope of escape, he realized both his arms and legs were securely tied to the bed. Grim was the enemy, yeah. Disregarding the man's screams, Hazuki drew back the scalpel she'd used to stab him. Cut through his flesh, tore through his skin. Blood gushed forth, covering her face in crimson.
信仰の救いをあなたに。
Sir? She knew her hands to the victim's wound. She forcibly began to widen it horizontally. The sound of flesh being torn open echoed throughout the operating room. The man's body started violently convulsing as the pain forced him to undergo cycles of fainting, then waking up again. She gazed at the gaping wound. Hazuki smiled a gentle smile. She then took her own child, which she'd just taken from herself, and forcibly pushed it inside the man's gaping wound. Here's the sound.
信仰の救いあれ。
It was the second new gen case. Midnight fell upon H Tokyo General Hospital, the place of Hazuki Shino's work. In one of its operating rooms, the nurse stood nearly still. The bled lay her psychiatrist colleague, Takashina Fumio. He was tied to the bed, but that was, she did this one too. He was tied to the bed, but that was the only thing done to him. She did the drain the blood. He had been open and his brain had been exposed. The skull had been cut cleanly, the light right above his eyes.
高階先生に信仰の救いあれ。
葉月くん、こんなことやめろ。
Gino was conscious due to the anesthesia. He didn't feel any pain from the cut. But Adjadu was feeling kept his eyes open wide, and his blood was sweating greatly.
救いあれ。
Ignoring Takashina's pleas for her life, his life, Hazuki retrieved a shiny silver utensil from the pocket of her white scrubs. Utensil that could not be referred to as a traditional surgical tool. It was a spoon, not to ordinary piece of tableware.
何をするつもりだ。よせ、やめろ。
She reveled in ecstasy. As enjoying a meal of curry and rice, she took a spoonful of Takashina's brain and took the spoon and violently cast the contents onto a stainless steel tray. The pink brain tissue was pulped into jelly-esque substance. That's not a knife, this is a knife. As he thrust the spoon inside the brain once again, this time, however, she's accumulated every more matter than she had the first time. She scraped away the brain tissue. Takashina's own brain was getting removed from his body, and he felt no pain, nor did he lose consciousness. And all as well as this, anesthesia had robbed him from any freedom of movement whatsoever. All the man could do was tremble in fear. Which one was that? I can't remember what it was. That was the
これが
fourth or fifth
あな
one?
たの記憶。
That wasn't the draining. That was the one that came after the draining blood
なんですね。
one. The numbskull one. Yeah, thanks. It was after the vampire one. Those are your memories, weren't they? Asukishino looked up at the projection in shock. She scrambled across his four master jumbotrons. Her fellow members were being shown. She couldn't even understand how it was being done. Sometimes it was Nichijo's Takumi's powers, the Gigalomaniac.
あなたの記憶です。
His head hung low and D-sword in hand, Nichijo Takumi murmured those words. Riot came to a halt, Sounds is now the ruling entity. Thousands of people had been assailing each other only moments ago, were now looking up towards the screens. Some went pale, some averted their eyes. Suppose the young would talk to a minor. Some felt horror, converted to vomit. She's a typical Roblox user. The mass media was starting to record as they came with their cameras. Countless blinding flashes ensued.
あなたがニュージェネ事件の真犯人だったんだ。
私の記憶を映像に投影したんですね。
You go to Japan and get a waifu now? You can scoop your brain out with a spoon.
もう言い逃れはできませんよ。胎児とあなたの DNA を鑑定すればわかることです。どうしてあんなことを。ねえ、グリム。
Tell me, Grim.
ナイトハルト。
I'm Neidhart.
すべては教祖様のお言葉なんですよ。
No. How creepy this is. Hazuki plunged her hand into her bag resting over her shoulder. From it, she retrieved both a Noah 2 terminal port and a scalpel. She gripped the scalpel and placed it right between her throat. With the nature of her position as a nurse, she knew the location of the carotid artery too well. Hazuki smiled at Takumi. It was a kind smile, much like the one she would show off to her patients. I'll show her patients.
信仰の救いあれ。
As one blood gushed from her neck, the entire body was painted of the bright crimson. Well, that was easy. I have to cut her with my own. Use my own D-sword. No.
救世主だわ。
I am your god. Listen to the lady, not the man. I didn't know someone would mumble those words. After seeing the sheer number of gazes piercing through me. Oh! The only Allen friend died. No! Thank you, Smoke. 22 months, dude. Cheers, man. Very much appreciated, dude. Yeah, I think we get near the end of this game, or it feels like it anyways. But then there's probably going to be a whole bunch of other endings I got to get to the real ending. If it's anything like Steins Gate. In front of number... Dude, I really, really appreciate that. Almost 2 years of subbing, dude. Thank you so much, man. In front of a countless number of people, Hazuki Shino had committed suicide via slitting her throat. I'll call it a martyrdom, might have been a bit more accurate. Choking smell of blood filled the air. I had now entirely stopped. Hazuki Shino's memories of the crime she committed, which I had projected directly out of the Jumbotrons, ended up being the perfect thing to make the excited parts of the mob quiet down. Shocking nature would have been displayed like everyone had lost for words. Just like showing them, which is like when I replayed the Serbian film. Even though Hazuki Shino's corpse was still bleeding, and people then walked up to it and began kicking it. Get her! It was a corpse of atrocious murder, so there were no respects to be paid her. Next, they might even publicly behead her like it was the Middle Ages. What difference was there between her and the one kicking her corpse? The very nature of humans were disgusting, horrible creatures, myself included. Media, like hyenas, were accumulating around anything that could act as a scoop. Roughly half of them would gather around Shino's corpse. The other half were surrounding me.
西野君 お見事でした。
今のは超能力ですか？やはりエスパーだったんですね。すごいです。
I'm the Messiah. I'm the Messiah.
今日のこの集まりは初めから真犯人をおびき寄せるためのものだったの？
Yeah.
あなたの超能力は何歳頃に現れたものなんですか？
So, yeah.
子供の頃のあだ名は神道とか呼ばれたことある？
Jesus Christ. I don't have psychic abilities. My own abilities referred to me by God, being a child of God.
今後警察の捜査に協力する予定は？
うちの局の番組に出てくれないかな？
No! One after the other, endless words of praise are thrown my way.
西条よくやったぞお前すげえよ
Yay! One after the other, endless words of affection were thrown my way. I but hollow hearing these voices, a fabricated image voice formed by public opinion and delusionary being. They were not too different, were they? We save this next time, please. Every time Takumi Iroha walks out. Someone record this. No, wait. Let's go back. Oh, I can't go back. Oh, let me do it. I'll save that one for later. Come back and record that. Can I just do it now? Oh, why don't we do it now? Damn it. Alright. Does Waka think? Can't hear her. Oh, I gotta get for the stream, yeah. Oh, shut up. Don't take it anymore. I screamed.
手のひら返して英雄扱いかよ、バカみたいな。
What is he talking about? Tears started flowing. I felt completely miserable. I felt completely ridiculous. Azumi. I didn't have it in me keep going without crying. I wasn't a hero.
僕はキモオタでセーラタンのエロいフィギュアに
I spent all day fapping over Sarah Dunn's figures, you fucking idiots. Jesus Christ, what's up, Spidey?
18歳未満だけどエロゲーして萌えって言ってる男だ。
I mow over sprites and CGs constantly.
頭の中じゃ街を歩く女どもを裸にひむいてエロい妄想してる。それが僕だ。
Tears and mucus smeared down my face. I forgot I was being broadcast live across the entire country. It occurred to me that I was shaming myself yet again. I couldn't help it. I was physically incapable of reading the room.
そうだよ。これでも僕は英雄かよ。違う。僕は英雄なんかじゃない。所詮妄想の存在で希望だぜ。一人じゃ何もできないヘタレだ。
Voices around me went quiet. Onlooker sank in his hats. People from media looked at me dubiously. The heart of Shibuya in the middle of the humongous scramble crossing. Only my voice is echoing.
それが僕だ。お前らに他人に僕っていう人間を決めさせない。僕の本質は僕が決める。僕はお前らのおもちゃじゃない。見せ物なんかにはならない。僕にはやるべきことがあるんだ。僕はお前たちなんかのために行動しない。
A spiral appeared in my mind.
僕はただ
Sake of those I cared about, I was here to fight, then disappear. Before I could voice out, I suddenly noticed the night sky reflected in the corner of my eye was turning pure white. It wasn't a cloud, nor was the snow falling a little too early in the year. By the time I realized it was the same phenomenon from back when the earthquakes had hit, it was already too late.
サードメルト。予定より早い。
No, not the third melt. Something I felt was of earth itself began to rumble. The ground began to shake. The white in the sky was spreading farther and farther. Again, EM pulse. The next moment, I was struck by a violent ringing in my ears. Such an intensely shrill, resonant sound, my head felt like it was about to burst open. The rush around me was covering their ears too. And then... the world was dyed completely white. That's the end of chapter 9. Wait a minute. I should stop here or not. Well, I should go for at least a little bit longer because it hasn't been 2 hours yet. I was standing atop a body of water, incredibly clear, transparent water. It was shallow, reaching only my ankles, but it was not cold. Intermittently, the waves whispered in my ears, gently grasping the handles of the wheelchair. Shogun, no, the real Takumi, was right before me. He sat adorned with his knitted cap. He sat ever so slightly hunched forward in his wheelchair. Not a single thing around surrounding us. Neither shells buried in the sand nor seabirds elegantly soaring through the sky. Nothing so expressly emulative of the sea could be seen. No signs of life, only the blue sea and the crystal clear sky. The train was completely flat all around me, with the horizon stretching as far as the eye could see. This place is not the real world. Together with the sounds of breaking waves, I heard Shogun's voice. From where I was standing, I couldn't see his expression. The tone of his voice didn't carry any particular feeling of lamentation. In reality, his words felt like they were simply casual passing remarks. Small, wrinkled, and withered away. All of his hair had fallen out. Is aging prematurely? That illness was supposed to be rare, affecting only 1 out of every 8 million people. There's some scene etched itself to my memories. My memories began to rise to the surface. I had powers then. Given the icy magic, I don't know. That's on the second night though, right? Yeah. Power of the Gigalomaniac. I think the first night's card's better than the second one, but I mean, you never know. You never really know with them. Just on paper, it looks better. I play again tomorrow before SummerSlam? I don't know. Maybe. if I have nothing else to do. Probably not, though. I'll save it for Monday. I'll blow it, you'll
粒子
see.
とともに追生成される反粒子はディソードにストックされていくんだ。反粒子は数学的に言えば過去へ向かうものだから。
Particles go backwards.
ストックすればするほどギガロマニアックスには現在の状態とのズレが発生し、やがてその矛盾により存在としての自己崩壊へ至る。
Uh-oh. He spoke. Shogun didn't move an inch in his wheelchair. What was he looking at? Could he even see it all?
力を使えば使う。この病は進行しちゃうんだ。ギガロマニアックスの力で治せばいいじゃないか。
You have a T-sword now. Cool.
力を使えば病は進行する。端的に言えば、力を使ってもプラスマイナスゼロっていうことさ。何も変わらない。
どうして僕みたいな肝タのヘタレ野郎を作ったの？もっと強くて行動的でかっこいいイケメンにすればよかったのに。
人を一人、しかもギガロマニアックスの力を使える人間を生み出すのは 簡単なことじゃなかった。君を生み出したんだ。1年近く昏睡しちゃったくらいだ。
Took me out for a year.
僕は未完成だったってわけ。
だからこそ君はとても人間らしい。
フォローしなくてもいい。
本心だよ。
Prick my tongue. I really did hate this guy.
リミにはいつも力を使うなって怒られたよ。
彼女は君を助けたいんでしょう。
でも僕はリミの忠告に従うわけにはいかない。今の危機的状況は僕の IR2 がきっ
Damn
か
that
けなんだ。
formula. He randomly wrote down into a doodle which ended the world. IR2, that strange scribble on the back of my essay.
IR2 はある科学者の手にとまり、やがてのぞみテクノロジー社によって研究が始められた。それがプロジェクトノア。言ってみれば人工的にギガロマニアックスの能力を発生させる装置。僕が計画に気づくことができたのはリミと出会ったからなんだ。彼女がひどい拷問を受けていたのはそのプロジェクトの一環だった。ノアのシステムを効率化するために必要だったのがコードサンプル。
Code samples.
ギガロマニアックスが力を使う過程で放出する特殊なノウハウの音。それを手に入れるためにのぞみの社長ノロセはリミに過酷な拷問を加えた。強烈な負の感情を抱くときギガロマニアックスは力に覚醒し理想度を獲得するからね。
He's gonna remember Senna's words.
バイオリズムの上昇によって中脳変影系ニューロンのドーパミンが過剰分泌されたとき、理想度は現れる。それは危機的な状況や興奮、悲しみ、憎しみ、笑いなど人それぞれだ。ドーパミン分泌量が多ければそれだけ観測しやすくなる。
君が僕にちょっかいをかけてきたのもそのため。
君を覚醒させるためにだ。
Had to fuck with you. Sorry.
ごめん。
I mean, I weren't the only ones. Others have undergone several severe mental or physical torture because of Project Noah. Ayase, Senna, Kozupi, and even Nanami. Cruel trials have been laid out for all of them, also they could become gigalomaniacs.
IR2 から生み出されたノア2は僕が自分の手で止めなくちゃならない。でも僕はこんな体だ。満足に動くこともできない。それに僕のコードサンプルを欲しがる望みから狙われるようにもなっちゃう。
That was to say nothing of how he was hospitalized at Age Tokyo General Hospital, a place which he had hidden ties to the Nozomi group.
だから身を隠さなくちゃいけなかった。
幻の病室のアミーちゃんか。
あそこに入ってこられたのはリミだけだったよ。僕は身動きが取れなくなって、それで
僕を作ったのか。
Morgan weakly nodded.
リミには君を消すように何度も言われたんだ。命を削る行為だからやめろって。でも僕に残された命は長くない。力を使わなくたってあまり差はないんだよね。
His voice was deeply serene. He had a certain sense of wiseness to him. Perhaps one you can only get from living out your days under a death sentence.
それに君が覚醒して力を使えるようになれば僕の命は持たないだろうか。
僕と君は一心同体っていうこと。
そうだね。
He said yes. He didn't say
でも
body and soul.
一つだけ約束。もう妄想はしない。
No, no more delusions.
ね。タクの妄想力はとっても強いから。妄想をすればするほど 本物のあなたの命が削られていっちゃうんだ。
Oh, doing that then. I tried to keep my promise to Remy. I couldn't go help her. And if I could, I wouldn't be able to help do a thing. Wouldn't matter what I tried. They'd turn the tables on me in an instant.
君の命はあとどれぐらい持つ？きっと今日か明日までじゃないかな。
I'm about to die.
そこまで。
Stunned. I didn't expect him to have so little time left.
僕が覚醒しちゃったから気にしなくていいよ。君の覚醒は僕にとって本望だから。君が死んだら僕はどうなる？君は僕と一心同体であると同時にリアルブートされたことによって現実の人間になった。
You're real. It's like Pinocchio.
生まれ方は特殊かもしれないけど君は人間だよ。
Your birth may not have been traditional.
僕が消えれば君は助かるよ。無駄だよ。せいぜい寿命が数日から数週間伸びるぐらいじゃないかな。でもそんな愚かな選択肢を選ぶのはやめるんだ。君にはノア2を破壊してほしい。そのために力を使うことを遠慮しないでほしい。言われなくても分かってる。君に遠慮するほど僕はお人よしじゃない。
I don't care about you. Shogun's shoulders shook faintly as he laughed. Making him laugh was the last thing I meant to do, so that annoyed me.
君が目覚めてくれてよかった。勝手な話で迷惑かもしれないけど、あと君に託す。
Suddenly, the feeling of the wheelchair's handles disappeared. I noted the wheelchair was sitting in began to move and leave me behind. As it moved, it almost seemed to glide across the surface of the water. Its two wheels cut into the water, making waves as they turned. I had no intention of following him. Instead, I absently watched him go.
僕の役目は終わった。
This chapter is finished.
勝手だね。僕に丸投げ。少し疲れちゃって。眠らせてよ。
He turned to me from his wheelchair. As usual, I couldn't read his expression, but his voice showed an intense
時
urgency.
間がない。急いで。ノロセはノア2を本格的に稼働させた。こうなったらノア2を直接破壊するしかないんだ。頼んだよ。
Then, as if embraced by a cloud of mist, he began to disappear. The very colors of this mental world slowly began to fade.
君に頼まれる筋合いなんてない。僕自身が決めたことをやるだけ。
None of the waves became more distant. Just like Remy had once, I burned this perfect, crystal clear sky into my memories. I gently closed my eyes. The reporter on the radio was reading the news with a grave tone.
現在までに確認された死傷者の数は233人ですが、この数は最終的に3万人を超えるとみられ、
30,000.
気象庁の発表によりますと、今回の地震の規模は震度7、マグニチュードは 7.8 と関東大震災に匹敵する規模です。
As big as the Great Kanto earthquake.
渋谷では建物の一部が倒壊し、大規模な陥没も発生している模様です。首都高渋谷線が高架の倒壊により全線通行止め。公共交通機関では山手線など全線が運転を見合わせております。
Tarek mixing with the news until eventually the reporter spoke no longer.
ダメだわ。また聞こえなくなった。
Mose shook and hit out the old radio with her hand. Upon realizing she was getting nowhere, she let out a heavy sigh.
古いから使い物にならないわね。
Closing the smile, she looked to the side. She could see the figures of Kishimoto Ayase and Yua walking along, expressions of fatigue coloring their faces. Both their uniforms were covered in soot, making it clear how laborious the trek here had been. And yet, the great swords they were holding, their D-swords, did not have a speck of dust on them, instead they shone with an unclouded, brutal radiance. After the earthquake, Yu and Ayase had walked back to Shibuya from Yoyogi. They hit to freeze the office, then joined up with Mimose. Waiting for the missing bond to return, the three of them stayed near the office throughout the night. Even though the earthquake had put the building on the verge of collapse, it all remained all the same. But in the end, Bond had never shown. Mimose suggested leaving Shibuya immediately, something Ayase clearly took issue with.
グラジオールが目覚めたの。早く他の口説き師と合流しないと。
Oh boy. Ayase asserted her feelings of urgency by tugging on Yua's hand, wanting to reach the rubble-laden heart of Shibuya as quickly as they could. In the end, Yu and Mimose had no choice but to follow along. 7 a.m. Not even an hour had passed since the sky had first begun to brighten. Not a single trace of the fresh morning air. At 1 a.m. that had been cloaked in darkness had been slowly exposed by the rising sun. And right now, the three girls found themselves in the midst of it. The city of Shibuya had been transformed into the very picture of hell itself. Roads were torn to oblivion. Asphalt protruded from the earth. River buildings collapsed and debris scattered in broken chunks along the sides of the road. Nearly every window that could be seen was broken, and a massive billboard had fallen from its usual perch atop the building's roof. One would not have to walk far to see countless corpses left undisturbed, littered among the chaos. Every body Mimose witnessed seemed like played outside her head, one in which she clasped her hands together in pity for their demise. There were just far too many. It's only partway through she could not take it anymore, realizing the only way to retain her sanity was to ignore them outright. Many people that would occasionally pass had lost all expression, listening only to stagger aimlessly through the streets. A group of men came together to try to help the survivors buried beneath the rubble. Not something there was much they could do without heavy lifting equipment. Mostly took another glance at what Yua was holding in her hands. A D-sword. Ayase explained them to her. Much like magic, they were swords that could be taken out of thin air. And Bond had told her it had been true. And yet Yua seemed only shocked and bewildered, but possessed one for herself.
ねえ岸本さん
Ayase, walking slowly ahead of the group, paid no attention to Mimose's call. The expression on her face made it clear that her patience was wearing thin.
このディソードを持つ人はあなたたちを含めて全部で7人いるっていうこと？
そうよ。
他の人たちがどこにいるのかわかるの？
わからない。
だったら
感じるのよ。意志。こっちで間違いないわ。
Ayase was effectively a brick wall. No other options left. Mimose repeated the same words, what felt like the 1000th time.
今むやみに歩き回るのは危ないわ。ひとまず安全なところに避難するべきよ。
ダメよ。時間がないの。
もしかしたら他の黒騎士だったかしら。その人たちだって避難場所にいるかもしれないでしょ。
そうですよ、岸本さん。私も避難場所に行くべきだと。
It came to a halt, as though Yu was backing and possibly made some sense to her. She narrowed her eyes. And she looked beyond the rugged Nogenzaka roads that no car could traverse.
え？だって何が？
What? And Ayase's game was a lone girl walking away from the station. She was wearing a Supreme Academy uniform that was far more tattered than either Ayase or Yua's. Only her left hand she was holding an enormous cross-shaped sword to her chest. Her gait was remarkably unsteady. It looked as though she could collapse at any moment.
大変!
Into the night's Mimose's body jiggled as she ran towards the girl, towards Hanami. These were Hanami's carrying caught her eye, but instead of prying in order to satiate her curiosity, focused only on supporting the girl's petite frame.
大丈夫? よく頑張ったわね。今病院に連れて行ってあげるから気をしっかり持つのよ。
Hanami's eyes responded to blank confusion to Melissa's words of encouragement. Need the bangle?
なんて言ったの？
何なの？バングル。どこ？
Yu and Ayase belatedly ran up behind Mimose.
この子、西条くんの妹さんです。そう。黒騎士の資格があるのもうなずけるわ。匠の妹な。
The Black Knight.
二人ともこの子を運ぶのを手伝って。なんとか病院に連れて行かないと。痛い。
Nami groaned in pain.
右手。
右手？
Most overtly grabbed towards Nami's right hand, gasping in surprise when she did.
だってひどい。こんな。
Yu and Ayase were not able to grasp why Mimosa was so distraught. While the bandage over Nami's right hand was bleed stained with blood, that seemed to be that serious of an injury. However, in Mimosa's eyes, Nami's hand had been severed from her bandaged wrist. While medical measures needed to be taken, it was still an open wound. The look on her face asked him to grab Nami's right hand, but her outstretched hand passed only through empty air. A holographic image, Nami's fingers lacked any substance. A drop of blood trickled down the red-stained bandage and fell into Ayasu's hand.
もうそう。
リミさんに助けてもらって。リミさんって関畑リミさん？
知ってるの？
ええ、西条くんのお友達の。
Yo had always had suspicion that Takumi had been the true Nyogen culprit. She knew a fair amount about his background. This also extended to him to those that frequently come into contact with him. Therefore, it was only natural for him to conduct investigations on Nanami and Rimi. In contrast to Yua, Ayase abandoned her typical aloof expression, grimacing at the mention of Rimi's name.
関畑リミも7人の黒騎士の一人。
そうなんですか？
Ayase recalled yesterday's incident at the hospital. She could remember being addressed by Rimi's apologetic voice.
岸本さん、タクに近づかないで。目覚めさせたくないの。
君には自覚がないの。黒騎士の一人としての。
私が一人で何とかするから。
とても美しいわ、その思いは。でもそれは、大いなる意志の望むことじゃない。私も、望んでいないわ。あなた一人に全てを背負わせるなんて。
黒騎士云々の話は今は置いときましょう。とにかく早く病院に連れて行かないと血が止まらないわ。
Mostly gently placed her handkerchief on Nanami's open wound.
すごい熱だし、顔色も悪い。急がないと。
お兄に会いたいよ。
Tears trickled down from Nanami's vacant eyes. At that moment, something happened. In an instant, the highway they were standing on collapsed with a deafening roar. They lost their footing, helplessly entering the free fall of gravity's mercy. Then it was like they're falling into the deepest, darkest, lowest circle of hell. Losing yourself in that illusion, Mimosa raised the scream so loud it betrayed her age entirely. When I came to, dark clouds covered the sky overhead. The dark night had come to an end before I knew it. There wasn't a shred of blue sky in sight. So with a wave of depression, the sky could not have been any more gloomy. Countless sirens from ambulances and fire trucks blared off in the distance. A multitude of helicopters were in the sky, circling the city like flies. My head was racked with pain, like someone was putting a jackhammer to it. It felt even worse than after the last earthquake. I tried to remember what had happened before my memories had cut off. The sky turning white, Shogun mentioning the third melt. I ignored my headache and stood up. I wanted to lose all words. The usual scenery was entirely absent. It was like a scene out of the end of the millennium, thing that everyone had been freaking out about almost a decade ago. The was on the verge of collapse. Traffic lights, roadside trees, and buildings all fallen to the ground. The Jumbotrons, the most iconic parts of Scramble Crossing, really, the cracks ripping through them and were entirely silent. The stairs leading down the subway were buried beneath the rubble of their own ceilings. The guard around the Yamanote line had fallen apart, and the rail had been ripped to shreds. More people than I could count were lying on the ground. Blood and guts clung to the scattered debris. Some remained motionless, some moaned in pain, some screamed for help. Some were covered in dust, crawling on all fours without a care as to how it made them appear. Some only cried, tidily craving another motionless body in their arms. I could smell all the blood. The rusty smell mixed with the stench of something burning. Everything was covered with a thick odor of dust. Far in the distance, plumes of black smoke rose like smoke signals. This was the true power of... this was the power of Noah, too. It's horrifying. It was already on the scale of weapon of mass destruction. Now I understood why Shogun wanted to put an end to this. Come to think of it, where was Shogun? When I came back to myself, I surveyed my surroundings. There was a bent wheelchair lying pretty close to me. Right beside it, his delicate frame was lying there. I ran over to him in panic and lifted him up. He didn't react. Not even his inner voice said anything. Oh God, was he dead? Fingered to his mouth, and as faint as it was, he was still breathing. He was still unconscious. Tried hitting him lightly on the cheek a few times, but to no avail.
ノア2はどこにあるの？
There is Noah 2. I didn't know where it was. There's no way I could make it in time to save Rimi or Nanami. Should have asked him what. Should have asked him that when I had the chance. Licking my tongue, I took my phone out of my pocket. It was off. I spent many attempts to get it working. It stayed that way. It's nothing more than garbage now. Aside from Shogun, who else would I know where to find it? Think, goddammit. I didn't have time for this. While I was wandering around doing absolutely goddamn nothing, that Narosa guy could really be ready to kill Rimi at any moment. Then who? Who was someone I could trust? Someone who knew all about Noah too.
君たちは特別な存在だ。
Well,
中でも一番特別なのは、その目、誰の目を産み落とした少年。
畑野一世。
Senna's dad. One of the founding members of Project Noah. Person was nowhere to be found right now. Not to mention I never met him before. Wait, also we passed each other on the street before actually. Kozabe told me all about his homeless lifestyle, with the guy always wandering around Shibuya.
見つけるしかない。
Surprisingly light body of Shogun on my back, mindfully made my way through the debris. I never clued where Hatano-san was, but I had no choice. I had to find her no matter what. Light as Shogun's body was, also nearly 20 kilos. It's hard enough just carrying around Shibuya. It was even worse, factoring all the uneven roads. One for exercise. I mean, hell, my daily routine consists of me just sitting in front of my computer all day. Instead of finding a way to get the Shogun to the hospital, but with Shibuya the way it was, I doubt I could even get an ambulance. And the gentle hill that was Dogonzaka was doing its best to drain all my energy. I could barely breathe, and my whole body was gushing out buckets of sweat. Wiping the sweat off my forehead, I took a quick break to catch my breath. Crazy Ayase. Suddenly I could faintly hear someone's voice. Someone was singing, their voice rife with loneliness, but not without hope. A soothing voice washed over me. I heard this singing somewhere before, back at that concert. In spite of the glaring lights overwhelming my vision and the blaring sound shaking the entire airtight building, I still managed to take it in. This time, I was in the middle of the road where I couldn't see a single sign of life. And yet, in the center of this collapsed city dominated by death, I could hear. I put Shogun down and surveyed my surroundings once again. I could see where the collapsed corpses strewn across the city. I did my best to avoid looking at them and instead focused on trying to find Ayase. Where the hell was her voice coming from? The road in front of me was wholly caved in. Looking at it, the hole created was incredibly big. There was definitely a subway tunnel beneath it. I didn't want to believe it at first, but even so I peered down to the edge of the hole. It was about 5 meters deep. A pretty fair amount of rubble piled up at the bottom. That was where Ayase had fallen.
Takumi.
今助けるよ。
Hey, Dunk. I jumped down into the hole. Didn't stick the landing whatsoever, so basically slammed into the rubble while just barely avoiding falling over. Ayase's leg was pinned in a pretty sizable slab of concrete, stopping it from moving. I had to give it my best effort, but it wasn't possible on my own.
私だけじゃない。他に3人いるわ。君の妹も。
Uh-oh.
ナナミが。
What the hell was she doing here? Hadn't that Narosa guy kidnapped her?
ナナミ！ナナミ！
During the pain on my leg, I stood up and yelled out for my sister, but I got no reply. Looking around me, I only saw one other person beside Ayase. It was a pretty hefty woman lying face down on the ground. While she wasn't moving, she only seemed to be unconscious. Oh! Dude! Thank you so much, Dunk! 68 months, dude, that is crazy! Jesus Christ, these numbers are nuts. 4 months until 6 years, that is insane. Thank you so much, man. I'm sorry. I'm just like comprehending how long I've been streaming for here. Cheers, dude. Thank you so much. These numbers don't seem real, honestly. But thanks again, though, dude. Very, very much appreciated. I mean, one other person were absent. Maybe they've been buried alive. I had to find them right this second. I shot to the top of the hole. There wasn't enough dust to make anyone hack the lungs out. Beyond that, you can see the circular shape of the sky above. Thought about Shogun while I lay down the road up there. What about what Rimi had told me?
妄想すればするほど、本物のあなたの命が削られていっちゃうんだ。
Oh, man, I was just killing him, doing all his delusions all the time? Jeez. I'm gonna hesitate here. My D sword. I drew my D sword entirely from thin air. The Joshi voice might be so funny. Here goes Chan. Consciously avoiding looking at her leg, I sat down near Ayase and peered at her face. Stared into her eyes, refusing to look at anyone else. That should do the trick.
妄想するんだ。
Strong one, a really strong one.
綾瀬の足の上にある瓦礫は大きなものじゃない。数は多いけど、一つ一つは小さい。重くない。簡単に足を引っ張り出せる。他の二人も助け出せる。
I can just wish what I want to happen. Kind of like a guy, that kid in Twilight Zone. Oops, I skipped something. Anayase, really mutual recognition between us two gigalomaniacs. Because once we had that, our delusion was sure to become reality. She's happy. Out of nowhere, Ayase smiled in relief. She gently stroked my cheek with her fingers.
グラジオーリの導きね。君、ここに来てくれたの。
Told you I'm the Messiah. I blinked nervously. Exactly as it believed to be, the large slab of concrete pinned Ayase's leg and now turned to a heap of smaller pieces. Pushing away some of the debris, Ayase slipped her leg right out. But I hadn't expected to go that so damn well. Tired to move, she massaged her ankle. Luckily, her injuries didn't seem all that bad. Yeah, no, I should use the voice changer, but I haven't used it in a long time, and I'll download a bunch of updates and stuff. Because I download updates almost every month. It wasn't very good. Oh, injuries didn't seem all that bad.
綾瀬の歌が聞こえたんだ。それに導かれたんだよ。
そう。よかった。歌い続けてきて。
Up on Ayase up. I stood and took a look around.
ナナミは
Don't see any signs of my sister. My delusion failed after all, or was Nami already? I began to feel anxious. There's Yua. Heard a voice. In the direction, I saw a hand reaching out of a gap inside the rubble. I struck that hand, and the glyph gripped its slender fingers and peered into the gap.
Oh.
The gap was almost like a tunnel. And in that tunnel was a familiar-looking girl wearing glasses. It had been ages since I last seen Yua.
なぜか急にこの隙間ができて、ついさっきまで全く身動きが取れなかったんですけど。
The girl averted her eyes. Oh, she was buried. Verized from me with a face that seemed almost apologetic.
手をしっかり掴んでて。
Trying to grip Yua's hand, and then I pulled as hard as I possibly could away from the gap. Ayase helped as well. The two of us pulling Yua with all our might, she managed to break free from the rubble without too much trouble. Who else was here? Kozupi and Nanami. Covered from head to toe in dust. A few pieces of concrete were tangled up in her long hair. But even with all that, Yua seemed completely uninjured. And now Nanami. Even Yua with Ayase, I started to search for Nanami. Given Yua had managed to break free, I can only assume that my delusion had actually worked. If that were true, Nanami should be in some rubble somewhere that I could yank her free from. And lo and behold, that was exactly the case. In the search for tons and tons of rubble, I managed to catch a glimpse of Nanami's face through a crack in the debris.
Nanami!
I called to her, but she didn't respond. She must have fainted. Reaching out, I went to touch her shoulder, but she hesitated. What? Uh-oh. It's a fake Nanami again? A memory from yesterday flashed in my mind. Nanami vanishing the particles right before my very eyes. No, this has to be the real Nanami. Gathering my resolve, I grabbed her by the shoulder, and specifically by her blouse. I could actually touch her, I could feel her warmth. So with you a bit ago, I pulled her out with all my strength. Unlike Ayase Yua, however, Nami's uniform was stained with blood. Her hand was especially covered in red. Regardless, I laid her down on the ground, then went to check her breathing. She seemed to be in pain, but she was still breathing. Even so, I couldn't worry about her right hand. It was absolutely covered in blood. Yet, when I tried to grab it, my fingers slipped right through it. A delusional hand? I can only mean Nami's right hand was... Drew only from Nami's mouth. Her face was caked in dust. I gently stroked her cheek and watched her eyelids slowly begin to open. Her gaze faintly wandered for a moment before finally landing on me. At every moment, Nami's expression warped and changed. Tremendous tears broke free from her eyes. Her left hand finally firmly grasped my own. I wished her to be happily, but felt she'd never want to let me go. But I heard those whispers. I responded with a slight shake of my head.
ナナミの本当のお兄は僕じゃないよ。
A fake one. What's this? My memories are so cloudy. That was how Nanami felt. Her brother's words had been the trigger in her heart, and now she felt that she had two brothers. However, what her heart told her was that it was just not as if she had two. She really did have two. Mind flashed back to the past. She remembered her two brothers' faces. One of them seemed quite pathetic. One of them was covered in wrinkles. Despite these distinctions, she was still convinced she only had a single brother. Something was not adding up between her memories and her cognition. What was reality? What was illusion? She did not know, and that scared her. To escape this, she attempted to empty her mind of all thoughts. Suddenly, her own voice audibly ripped outward. Nana, you need to stay strong. Stay strong. Next thing she knew, she was standing in a hallway illuminated by the setting sun. She could smell disinfectant. Before her stood a rather plain door. Reached out toward it and took hold of the handle. Then, with no will of her own, her hand opened the door.
ああ、お兄、またご飯食べないつもり？ちゃんと食べてっていつも言ってるじゃん。出ないと元気になんないよ。あ、もしかしてグリーンピースが入ってるから？子供じゃないんだし、いい加減好き嫌いやめたら？そりゃ、ナナだってグリーンピース嫌いだから残したくなる気持ちはわかるけど、ちゃんと食べてくんないとナナが怒られるんだからね。あの怖い看護師長さんに。
ナナミ。
何？
今まで辛く当たってごめん。
お兄が謝るなんて珍しいじゃん。
もう僕のために無理をする必要はないんだ。
I'm now dead. Fake brother had too many delusions.
何言ってるの？
僕は身を隠さなくちゃならなくなった。だからお前はもうここには来なくていい。
何のつもり？
さようなら。
This really makes the delusion of the fake Takumi. That was where her memories cut off. Memories about her real brother. Her brother had been suffering from a serious illness, leading to her graciously spending many years tending to him in the hospital. No matter how much time had passed, she knew he had to stay strong so that he could take the best care of him in his time of need. The past year and a half, those things disappeared from her memory entirely. Forgotten if those memories had even existed. In exchange for that, her brother continued living on his own in good health right here in Shibuya. Mother had asked her routinely to go check on him, leading her to sometimes drop by on his way home from school. And thus, she had done so, thinking nothing of it. After all, his brothers checking on him might have already been a routine. Oh, I see. They thought he was checking on the one in the hospital. She had never housed any doubts about it.
どうしてナナは忘れちゃってたんだろう。
Nearly 30 minutes had passed since she'd been rescued from beneath the rubble. Now she'd finally been reunited with her real brother. There he was, lying still on the road. He was still breathing but remained unconscious. His body was a small, wrinkled, emaciated, incredibly weak as she remembered. As her brother from so long ago whom she'd always known.
こんなのひどいよ。ナナはお兄に文句ばっかり言ってたけど
Her brother did not reply. She clung to his small body all the same, letting loose a flood of
お
tears.
兄のこと一度だ
She
って
has like she only has one
忘
hand.
れたいなんて思ったことなかったのに勝手だよわがまますぎだよ
The sound of metal scraping lightly against something came from within her brother's clothes, and a moment later, something slipped free from his pocket. He had the bangle. What the hell? This makes no sense. It was Nami had been searching for. When she lost her right hand, she lost it as well. A flimsy, cheap bangle with a snowflake motif. Confused, she stared at her real brother's face, but his eyes buried wrinkles in open return. Nami picked up the bangle with the left hand. She remembered how it felt to touch. It was her brother's first present to her, Nami's greatest treasure. Nami lifted her gaze, unceremoniously searching for her other brother. Holding a long sword, and his back was turned to her. And he was walking away. He was leaving this place, even without saying a word, and Nami could understand that much. This man he was looking for. The fact that he might leave without saying even a word to her left her wrought with a terrible loneliness.
行っておいで。
Nami's brow furrowed in confusion, and she softly searched around herself.
今声が
It was her brother's voice. That much she indeed remembered. The voice of her brother who should have been unconscious.
彼は僕と一心同体。もう一人のお兄なんだから。
Whether it was truly her brother's voice or mere hallucination, Nami could not tell. Yet, regardless of which it was, she whispered all the same.
わかった
Whispered to her brother who still lay on the ground. Nami stood up and walked towards her older brother's back. She hardly had any strength left. After days, she'd been trapped in a pitch-black room, forced to take part in some sick tableau of agonizing crucifixion. I don't even remember how many times she thought she would die. Her right hand in particular caused her tremendous amounts of pain, as if a chisel had been stuck into it all the way to the bone. The sensation that she lacked her hand, yet the illusion that it still remained, was tearing her mind in two. She was exhausted both mentally and physically. She lost focus and was not she would fall to the ground, too drained to get back up again. Therefore, she had to make desperate effort to reach out her hand at this very instant. Even if it took her more than effort she could give, she would do everything in her power to make him stop.
待って
She narrowly managed to squeeze something out, and thankfully, he'd heard. He halted his stride and looked back towards Nanami. Even though she had managed to stop him, she was lost on what exactly to say to him. The reality was this person was not her brother at all. The conviction that this person was her brother to the end. Those two feelings had blended together in her head, making her even harder to discern. But she gripped her bangle tightly in her left hand. It had been his gift to her, one that felt cold to the touch but warm to the heart. The very existence of this bangle linked both him and her together. That was how she felt. The answer was all she needed. Her hesitation instantly
お
faded.
兄は本当のお兄じゃないかもしれないけど頼りにならなくておたくさんでアニメキャラもお人形さんばっかり集めてて口が悪くて愛想もなくて意地悪なことばっかり言うけどお兄もナナのお兄だよ
I'm a delusion, trying hard to fight back her tears. Nami smiled as best she could.
ありがとう、ナナミ。
Upon gazing about his expression, she saw her older brother seemed a little embarrassed, and with that relief washed over Nami, before slowly putting her consciousness to rest. Nami nearly collapsed, and I hurriedly went to catch her. Alright. Switch characters again. Should we stop it here, I guess? Let's see. It's an hour and a half before... Wait a minute, it's an hour and a half? Hour and a half before SummerSlam, so I guess I should probably stop here. Get some food and stuff before this thing actually starts. Where'd I go? Yeah. Silent Sky, alright. I wonder how many chapters are in this game. It's gotta be near the end, right? I mean, now we know pretty much everything that's happened. Not a mystery anymore. Alright. Everybody, thanks for hanging around. I had a lot of fun. I'll be back, Monday, I guess. Man, this stinks. Yeah. I'll be back on Monday for some more of this. Then Tuesday, finally, for some more wrestling. But man, we have SummerSlam today and tomorrow. This is kind of annoying. I mean, this 3-hour pre-show is insane. I can't believe they even said that. 3-hour pre-show for this with no matches on it. It's like, holy crap. That's just a complete waste of time. For everyone involved. Alright. Thanks for hanging around. I'll be back Monday with more of this around 11 a.m. Pacific time. Then Tuesday, more wrestling at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. for some more Joshi Wrestling. We have a lot of Stardom to get to, obviously, already. And there's, what else is there already? There's already Toki Joshi Pro. There's already Sendai Girls. There's already a lot of other stuff to watch that we got to get to. So get ready for all that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there should be credits now, huh? Stuff actually happened. There we go. Alright, there we go. Thanks for the subs and resubs. Let's find someone to raid. And we have a good weekend. Enjoy SummerSlam if you're going to watch it. Let's see. 3 subs on this video or game stream. It's nuts. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. So there's a good pleat watching Raw from 1998. Snowboy watching Hog Wild from 1996. Old School Wrestling Review watching Teenager vs. Wildcat. What is going on? Oli's also watching wrestling, watching him greater than last time. Let's do Snowboy this time. Oh man, is it 4 eyes? There we go. Let's see what he's watching here. Yep, he's watching Hog Wild 96. It's back in time here. Alright, definitely give him a follow, and everybody please have a good weekend. I'll see you again soon. Say hello, say goodbye.